I see dead people.
Here's Johnny.
Stop.
We have such sights to show you.
Bring the motherfucking ruckus. Fuck you too.
And our first guest today is none other than Afternoon Groom.
Tim Robinson.
No, I fucking wish, dude. He would write a story about a hot dog that lives in a world of people trying to eat the hot dog. And now that I think about it, that's just Sausage Party.
Yeah.
Which isn't him. Which, honestly, it would have been better if it was him. You think Seth Rogen did a good job with that?
Yeah.
You don't think it would have been better if it was Tim?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing if it was Tim, but I don't think Seth did a bad job. You got your little condom on your mic there.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Don't want it sliding off your head.
It's just my, what do they call it in Britain?
He's got
cap.
one. A cap, yeah.
I gotta get a little cap on.
It's like the fucking skit with the guy who plays Harry Potter,
Daniel
Radcliffe, yeah. And he's like,
talking about how he needs a condom.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back and have a little time.
He's like, oh, you already unwrapped it.
Get me a Johnny.
Give me a Johnny.
All right. So I am here with Afternoon Groom, and he has written 3 quote-unquote short stories.
This is the first one.
And the first thing we're reading today is a poem.
Yeah.
You wrote a poem.
Yeah.
Do you write a lot of poems?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to when I was younger.
Well,
I write songs now. So
I was going to say, you write songs, and songs in a lot of ways are poems.
Yes.
Because they rhyme.
Yes. Also, I'm in a band. You should.
Yeah, you're in a
definitely
band.
check those songs
Honestly, if you want to give them a plug, you absolutely can.
Okay. The band is called The Summits. That's SUMMITTS. The big songs you can look up are Mountain Men, You've Seen Disaster, Don't Worry Panic. We do a cover of Mamma Mia by ABBA. There's a song called Have You Seen My Cousin's Jacket? And It's Fall.
I do like the jacket one.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, Afternoon Groom here is in a band called The Summits. Give them a listen. They're on Spotify.
Yeah, any streaming service.
Yep. Anything that you're probably listening to us on right now. So what we're going to do first is read one of your poems.
Yes.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
I'll read this one.
Cool.
Because I know the flow with the done.
I will introduce it.
Yes.
The title of Afternoon Groom's poem is called The Voice. And you can take it away.
You got it. I'm exposed now. I feel so vulnerable. There's a noise coming from the basement, but what could it be? There's a noise in my basement, but it's not me. It's a loud noise coming from inside. It's a loud noise. Should I run and hide? There's a face inside my basement, a smile with some eyes. There's a face inside my basement. It's a big surprise. It is coming closer, slow but steady. There's a smile heading up the stairs, but it's not me. Slamming all the doors and locking it away. Locking all the doors, I hope it never surfaces today. The noise is getting louder, and I am now afraid. The noise is getting louder. Will I be saved? And here's a like a little Pink Floyd reference there from Brain Damage from Dark Side of the Moon. I locked the bedroom door and threw away the key. There's someone in here, but it's not me. The voice is now here, so loud as can be. The voice is now here with my insecurities.
Oh, okay. I liked that. That was good. That was good. So would you say the inspiration for that is the voice inside your head and how it kind of feeds back into your own psyche and how you don't you are your own worst enemy sometimes?
It's like you're the one in charge of your own self-destruction.
I love that.
Thank you.
That was very good.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. I like that. I like the little brain damage.
The symmetry
reference.
is easy. Yeah, of course you do. The symmetry is easy. How you repeat yourself is nice, and how it structures itself and for the stanzas.
I wrote this on Friday,
Yeah.
Like I got in my
There's
car.
no concept of time on this. People are going to be hearing this 3 months from now.
That's the thing, though. I just wrote this, and then that was it. Like, I thought of Pink Floyd's Brain Damage, and I was like, I locked the door, threw away the key. There's someone in my head, and it's not me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
good.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write something short from that.
You should turn that into a song, and make it really loud and sad.
Those people should go and listen to "Don't Worry, Panic" by the Summits.
I mean, I have heard that one.
If you want a better version of that.
It's good. Are we reading this one next?
High Noon, yeah. So it's kind of more like you got to read it like analog horror-ish kind of thing.
Oh, you want me to read this?
So in your head you got it. So like, you know, if it's like
give me an example.
So like, you know, you're going through like the TikToks or whatever videos, and the one comes up and it's like, it's a horror story. Like the girl's like, if you find yourself alone in the woods.
Oh, like a public service announcement.
Yes, and I
could do that.
And like
I'll put a reverb and like a little commercial tone over
and it's like if you find like you're going deeper into the woods and the trees are getting slimmer, you're going the wrong way.
Yes, I like those.
And you need to turn around.
I like those.
There's a deer. And don't take your eyes off the deer.
If you're walking around at night and you hear music coming from the woods, turn and hide.
Yeah, that's this.
Yeah, cool. So you want me to read this?
Yes.
Okay. The second story that afternoon Groom wrote is called High Noon. If you find yourself walking outside on a sunny day and you look at the ground and notice you don't have a shadow, it means that you are no longer on our plane of existence. Don't panic. You still have time before it comes. First, you must make your way to the nearest tree. Next, turn around and count to 10. Then start to climb to the top clearing. Once there, look for the highest point in the surrounding area. If you can't reach your way up the tree, repeat the first step and continue to a new tree. Once the second step is initiated, spin around 3 times and again look for the highest point in your area. It's imperative for you to know now at this point that he is watching you. Caution is considered imperative. Every step forward should be followed exactly. Once you have found the highest point in the area, head towards it. However, sorry. It's like, whatever. However, while walking now, do not look down. If you see that your shadow has returned, it is not yours. Look away and continue forward. Heading towards the highest point should bring you closer to the brightest area now. Yes. The next part will be unsettling, but stand at the highest point and look directly at the sun. Not recommended for those with retina damage. You will start to hear screams. Loud, unsettling, murderous screams. Stay focused. Don't take your eyes off the sun. You will wake back up on the ground, and it should be 4:15 p.m. Congratulations, you have escaped successfully. Yeah, I love those. Those little, like, TikTok, like, back rooms, you know, service announcement things.
The one I like
there's someone escaped in the area. It is a doppelganger. If you see someone that looks a lot like you, do not let them inside. Yeah, those are fucking awesome. I love when people do like short form, easy to digest analog horror like that, because it like
not recommended before bed.
Not recommended before bed. That is a no.
But that is exactly when I started reading them. So just like, yeah, whatever.
When it hits you at the wrong time, it sticks with you, because then you start to like
panic,
look at everything through your peripherals. You're like, what?
And
just moved.
That was the thing with this one, is like everything happens at night. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it directly in the day when you wouldn't expect anything.
Yeah. So this is the next one, or the high noon?
No, that was high noon.
High noon is in the daytime. So it's about your shadow. It's about the daylight.
Yeah, I was walking Luna around, and I'm like, you know what? What happens if you have no shadow? Because like is it Australia? There's a point on Earth where at high noon there's no shadow.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's good
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a section on Earth that
You read a fun fact and you were like, let's run with it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I enjoyed that. Now, are you going to read this last one, the long one?
We could take turns if you want.
Sure. You start it, but we'll talk about it afterwards too.
The
I do love the title. The title's fun.
Tag, you're it. Yeah. This
Tag, you're it.
My cousin kind of told a short story to me when I was a kid. We would do this. We would make up horror stories,
Mhm.
and I would read creepypastas, and I'd say it to him,
Mhm.
and then he would make up stuff on the spot, and this was kind of like things we would throw back and forth at each other, and this was one of them that he said about a. It's not exactly. I took inspiration from what he said, but
Sure.
it's exactly what he said.
Sure.
I could
You made
talk
it your
about
own.
then. Yeah.
You want to take it away?
Sure. This is just gonna get a little silly at certain points,
I
because
love
like
that.
when I was writing this, because I was just like, I'm just gonna throw like a little. You'll know, because you'll be like, that's from this and that's from that.
Fine. That's fine.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. A far off memory, like a distant dream. Ever since I was a child, I've had a normal life, a normal childhood. Nothing out of the ordinary. Sure, I do the occasional rowdy childhood behavior every now and again, like egging cars and taking candy from local department stores, but nothing extreme to the point where it would hurt someone or something. I've always cared for animals and deeply cared for my family and friends, but for some reason recently, I've been having a vision of my childhood like something's missing, like a puzzle with that one puzzle piece that you just can't find. These visions, like something was missing, but not just something, but someone. Maybe it's been these strange events that have been occurring that have triggered these memories, but more on that later. Now at the cusp of my 30s, at the end of my 20s, I've always remembered being an only child, but for some reason, I feel like I've had an older brother. I can't recall if this being was an imaginary person or if this was truly someone that existed. There are no family photos that I can find, nor does anyone mention that fact that this person even existed. But now I am recalling vivid memories of this person and us playing tag when I was much younger than today. Like early childhood. We couldn't have been more than 2 or 3, but it's almost like I can sketch his face with my mind. His smile, his long black hair, tall in stature for his age, but nothing comes to mind on his personality. I do remember us being happy whenever we played and when we would run around playing tag. However, this memory of a night that was in the summer, where the heat was unbearably hot and the moon was full, the kind of night where you had to leave all the windows in your house open just to make it manageable to sleep. I can remember how we would play tag late into the night, running through the house even after everyone had gone to sleep. But this one night when we were running through the hall, and I had tagged this being just outside our parents' bedroom, but just as the clouds covered the moon, I had tagged my brother, and in the process tripped forward, knocking them down our stairs from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor living room. There wasn't much that I remembered after that, but I do remember a noise of screams coming from behind me as my parents opened the door, but still nothing much beyond that point. This person, this being, leads me to believe that since no one else can remember them, and now only I can remember, must mean that I must have had an imaginary friend of some sort, right? I feel that recent events have triggered my memory, like I've mentioned before. Recently, strange things have been happening. Things have been moving out of place in my house, things that were where they should be. For example, the TV remote on the opposite side of the table, or a chair in the kitchen out of place, ever so slightly, where I know somebody had moved it. It's strange, because ever since I've moved into my house and lived alone, I know I'm the only one who has moved these things. I know I'm not going crazy because it's been happening in my parents' house as well. I only moved down the street at the end of the block since I moved out. The house was cheap and it was still in a town close enough to my job, but the same thing has been happening at my parents' house as well. Objects where they shouldn't be, out of place. My parents say I'm just being silly. I've been working too hard, and I should get out of town and take a vacation for a while. But there is something else that's been happening as well. I've been seeing these figures appear just after midnight every night for the past few months since I've turned 30. I've tried telling my parents about this, but just like the objects moving in the house, they claim that it's just all in my head. But I know I'm not going crazy though, because just like clockwork, this figure has been there every night now for the past several months. I first started noticing when things were being moved or going missing in my house, because the one night when I was up late, getting some work done, I noticed the motion lights turn on in the backyard. When I went to go check, I saw something out in the distance at the edge of the property, hiding near the field, just far enough out of reach of the motion lights. There they stood in the darkness, hiding. The next day, I installed security cameras around the property, and still I can see this figure looming around in the footage, but never as close to the house like the first night, making it hard to see them in the videos. But I know it's them. Even now, I go back and try to save the footage to the stockpile and take to the authorities. It's someone going through my archives. I've called the company, but they still can't fix anything. I've even set up several small cameras throughout my property, and for whatever reason, they always turn up blank, except the one security camera in the back of the house. I can see them standing in the yard at the edge of the field, looming, waiting, but never on any of the other cameras. And I can see things live and in real time from my house, but the footage is never saved. And when I try to, it never works. I've called the police multiple times, and every time they're gone before the police arrive. I've asked neighbors who live around me if they are picking up anything on their security cameras, but their cameras are never able to reach the edge of my property. We live close, but our properties are spread far enough away from each other, so I guess it's out of the question to ask if they are noticing anything going on near mine anymore. My alarm system is on and always functioning, so I know I shouldn't have any problems, right? I'm not crazy. But tonight I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I've bought a couple of firearms and ammunition to protect myself. It's 12:30 at night, and I'm waiting for them on my back porch. I've turned the lights off and the security system to not draw suspicion to myself out here. Time has passed and it's getting late now, and still nothing. Hang on, I hear something rustling in the tree line by the field. Here we go. Trying to do sound effects.
Bang, bang, bang.
do I do the quotes too?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Come out, you fucking bastard! I know you're there! Bang, bang, bang.
A herd of deer scattered from the
okay.
nearby bushes. It's been a while, and nothing has appeared. For the first time in months, I haven't witnessed the figure. Maybe I have been going crazy about this after all. Maybe my parents and family are right. Maybe I should take a vacation out of town for a while. In the process of waiting, I've lost track of time, and the sky is just on the fringe where the light of day is starting to take over. I think I'll go to bed. I'm sure I'll be getting a noise complaint soon. Oh, well, I guess that's the police now. They'll probably take me down to the station at this point after bothering them so much. As I swung the door open, I feel a sharp pain in my chest. This man with a rag, I spell reggae?
You spelled reggae. Bumbaclaw! This man with the reggae.
With a ragged. This man with a ragged beard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like it, ragged.
Ragged beard. Bumbaclaw. Fuck you, brother.
Fuck you, man.
Gotta take this knife in your gut, man.
This man with a ragged beard and a crooked smile stood there, tall in a hoodie covering his face. I fell back onto the floor of my living room, feeling a warm puddle form around me. I looked down to see that a small pocket knife was sticking out of my chest, and a pool of blood was forming around me. Everything is starting to become slow, and my vision is starting to fade in and out. Right as I'm drifting into subconsciousness, I can see the red and blue lights flashing at the end of the street from my front porch. I woke up in the hospital with my parents and family surrounding me. The doctor came in, telling me that I should be in full recovery. Maybe I should take a vacation for a while. My family in the room left, and after a few seconds of the doctor's,
The doctor leaving, things became quiet.
They all mentioned how I should have gone on vacation sooner and left for a while. The police, who had come to the house and found me after a noise complaint of loud gunshots, came in to talk to my parents and I. They said that one of the patients in the psych unit at this very hospital had gotten out a few months back and had made his way to my house last night. Nothing was stolen and nothing was damaged in the process of their entry, but a message. A message was left on the wall, written in my own blood. The police showed my parents a picture of the wall. My parents had these horrible looks on their face, like they had just seen a ghost. I looked at the photo, and all that was written on the wall was, "Tag, you're it."
Tag, you're it. Lightning. So, what I really like about that is the creepypasta nature of it. It is very much someone getting paranoid about something they remember from their childhood that doesn't quite line up to reality, and how it starts to edge in on their periphery, literally as they're growing up, because they're starting to see things around their house, around their yard, around their property, and they're convincing themselves that it's happening and that they're seeing it. And then the entire time they're questioning themselves. They're like, is this really happening? Am I going nuts? Or is this something else? And then, dime drop, they're 100% has been a person that's been invading their home and fucking with them. And then they come in for the kill and they give them a little shank. And they write the nice, fun little message. Tag, you're it. It's a nice little cherry on the top at the end. It's nice. It's sweet. And I feel like what you're implying there, tell me if I'm wrong.
You are correct.
Is that something happened to a sibling when they were younger. Mm-hmm. The other son must have gotten brain damage, from falling down the stairs. So they put him in a assisted care facility.
Yeah, they kind of
couldn't take care of him anymore. Mm-hmm. But then this kid just lived alone in their psych ward probably for the rest of their life, going nuts, trying to play tag with whoever. No one probably wanted to play tag with them. So the minute they bust out, they're just like, I'm going to play the most violent game of tag I've ever thought about with a knife. And then just showed up at the brother's house and was just like, boom, done.
And the parents are the family's there's no photos.
Yeah, they hid everything.
They hid everything.
They just tried to make everyone forget. Just brush it on all under the carpet.
It was an accident. They were kids.
Is this autobiographical?
Yes.
I wasn't saying you. I wasn't saying you were the one. Oh shit. No. So
I like to play.
So I want to ask. Let's go back through them. Voice is your inspiration from your voice, from what you do, from the idea that you like to sing and you like to write songs.
Yes.
High Noon, your inspiration was analog horror, those TikToks, those things that you watch late at night that people do not recommend watching late at night.
I watch them anyway.
And then your inspiration for this last one was probably the type of stuff that you would have read on Creepypasta as a kid.
Yeah.
The type of stuff that you were talking about with your cousin, where you would share a story with one another, trying to spook each other.
Yes.
Is there anything else there that you want to talk about?
I don't know. Here, let's talk. Let's turn it over to you. What was, out of the three of them, what was your favorite one?
Oh, Tag, you're it.
Yeah.
100%. I love testing with form is cool. One of these days I'll share my poetry with you. I took several, I could have minored in English. So long story short, the reason I wanted to do this episode the 300th in general is because I took so many writing classes in college that I could have minored in English. But anyone who's ever minored in English before can tell you that it's fucking useless and it doesn't matter because I'm not going to go teach English. I'm not planning to be a teacher. I could have gotten my educational certificate too. I don't want to be a teacher. Why would I spend the extra time and money to do that? So I could have minored in English. I could have gotten an educational certificate. Didn't do either because I don't give a shit. So I love to write, though. The reason I liked taking those classes is because I needed to take those alternate classes outside of my major. You know, I needed to take other classes. So I focused on writing because I've always loved writing ever since film school, ever since high school, ever since I was fucking 12. Like, I loved to write.
I have a bunch of stories somewhere in my house.
I wrote a book when I was
same.
in high school. Like, I wrote like a fucking 300-page book in high school. And I've never let anyone read it because I just think it's probably garbage at this point.
Yeah, I've written like
but when
probably
I was
like really young.
When I was in college,
so
I took multiple poetry classes, and at the very end of them, I think it was my third poetry class, and we had to do a seminal reading like in front of the class, like legit like slam style, like everyone had to get up and like read in front of everyone. And I read, I think minimum we had to read 3 different thematic pieces, but you had to write like a lot more. And they wanted us to put them all into our own individual collections. And I called mine Potent Potables, joking off of Saturday Night Live. And a lot of them are very song-like. A lot of them are very repetitive, stanza-based, you know, lyrical, like that. But some of them are also just funny. And one of these days I'll let you read it because I still have it saved and printed in a couple different places. But poetry is always fun. And that's what I will say about The Voice is that it's funny because I don't know if anyone else doing this, anyone else on the 300th is going to come to me with poetry. So that's cool. That's like a you thing.
I'm 100% obviously a writer. Considering the fact, I'm in a band and I write all the music.
And you write all the music, yeah.
But I've been doing this for like years. My mom wrote children's books.
Oh, okay.
And I wrote poems in books and stories and stuff when I was like younger. Were they good? I don't know. I can recall 2 I was in the process of writing when I was in like elementary, middle school. Mm-hmm. One was about like a creature that like surfaced from another dimension, kind of literally a Stranger Things scenario before Stranger Things even came out, probably like 20 years ago. Yeah. And this thing like came out, and I was like, oh, I want to make a movie out of this. I'll get all my friends. They'll all live around the block.
Yeah, I love that.
And it'll like live in the woods because like I lived in and again in the story like I talked on this. I had a field and a woods behind my house. But that story is like. They end up like summoning like the goddess from that like universe or whatever, and it beats the shit out of that creature. So it was kind of more along the lines of like a pit, like like Super Smash, like Pit from like like he
Kid
summons
Icarus?
Yeah, Kid Icarus. He summons like the goddess. Like that was kind of my envision.
Lady Palutena.
Yeah, she was gonna come and beat the shit out of like this creature that like has a fucking nail and
how very never-ending story of you.
Yeah, and but that was one. The other one was more grounded in reality about like a bear, a kid finding like a bear cub and taking care of it, and then like it gets to be older, and then it starts like killing people because it's a bear.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then like having to
Lake Placid with bears.
Yeah, and then having to like kill it. Sadly.
Yeah, of course.
Never finished that one.
As nature do.
They called it Rocky Black Mountain. Have no idea what those stories are now.
Damn nature, you scared.
Yeah, damn nature.
But yeah,
I
Tagger It is very cool. It was fun. It was fun to read. I hope you enjoyed this exercise. Yeah. Once you write a lot. Like now, but mostly for your band and stuff, right? So it's like you don't know the last time that you've sat down to write like fiction.
probably like a couple years back. There's probably like stuff in my bedroom and on my old computer.
So last question I have: did you enjoy yourself?
Oh yeah, the thing is like this is like I've been doing this for like 20 fucking years. Like I love writing stories. Oh, obviously, you know. Now I just write it in like song form, so people should really go check out that band.
Give them another plug.
Go check out The Summits, streaming on all services. That's SUMMITTS. If you like punk rock, if you like rock and roll, if you like Green Day, Yellow Card, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, All Time Low, Paramore, and any pretty much other band.
I'll say a little bit of Blink.
Yeah, Blink-182. If you like also classic rock like Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and Pink Floyd, you should definitely check out Mountain Men.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
All right, and we are here with our next guest on today's special writing episode. I don't have a title yet. I was just calling it the writing episode. I am here with Midnight Bride.
Hello.
I was gonna say, are you gonna fucking say anything? You just gonna sit there and be all fucking quiet? You're gonna be all nervous now?
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
People are watching you?
Yeah, people are watching and listening.
Welcome to the show. Tell us the name of the show again.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Fucking meatball pasta. Fucking meatball pasta.
Every time we come on
Why
here.
didn't you name your story Meatball Pasta?
Oh, I didn't name my story.
Gonna record your fucking spaghetti and meatballs.
Record your spaghetti and meatballs.
And she's here as I'm pointing at her, pointing and laughing.
Yeah.
Use
All right.
AI to generate your voice as spaghetti and meatballs. Why did you call it?
I love spaghetti and meatballs. so I'm here with Midnight Bride on the writing episode, and we are going to read your short story.
Mm-hmm.
And the title is Patience.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which I have none of.
It's fair.
Yeah,
So
I have zero
and
of.
before we get into it, is there anything that you'd want to say pre getting into the story?
Obviously, Afternoon Groom
Yeah.
has. I'm not talking to you.
God damn it.
Shh, shut up! I was quiet during yours.
I wish you talked during mine.
So he does write, and he writes, you know, his songs and stuff, and you know, writes stories. I do not. So this was a challenge for me that I wanted to take on.
So my question of saying at the very end, where it's like, how did you feel about doing this? You're gonna be like, out of my depth!
Yeah, out of my absolute fucking depth.
Racking my brain!
I literally finished this before you came over this
That's
weekend.
fine, so did I.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. I knew how I wanted the story to go. I knew what I wanted to do.
You just needed to put pen to paper.
Yes, and
that's the
it was
test.
just like, and sometimes it came to me as I was just like typing it, and then other times I'd be like, I need to like think about how I want to get to the next part, you know. But and a lot of that happened when I was in bed, like trying to like go to sleep, and then I was like, well, it's 2 a.m. I need to actually try to go to bed. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I tend to think that my best writing is done in the middle of the night, when I'm alone, when I'm super focused, and I could just fucking.
I needed to be alone to do this. It was really hard to do this. Like
When I was younger, I would always say that my best work, like making art,
was at night.
Was at night.
Yeah,
you
same.
Know, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'd be in the studio like all night long working, because also nobody would be in there, which is great.
Yeah.
Especially my freshman year of college. It was kind of dangerous. They always would tell you don't kind of go in the studio alone. But like freshman year, I did not know Afternoon Groom, so I would be in the studio literally by myself at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
And that's when he came in and tried to finger you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, it happened.
No, it didn't. No.
God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so
Never what you wish for.
So if we're going to read the story, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you reading this or am I reading this?
I'd like to read it. There is no dialogue.
It's just the question up front, because to explain to the audience why I'm asking this each time is because when I write, I write in my voice.
Same. I noticed that for me.
I wouldn't want, outside of dialogue, which
Mhm.
was an example during Afternoon Groom segment,
Mhm.
it's like outside of dialogue, I have a very specific intonation about how I want things to be delivered
Mhm.
in an audio format.
Yes.
So I'm going to be reading my stories, except
Yeah.
for certain dialogue part.
Mhm.
So if you wrote this with your own voice
Yes.
in mind for it, so you can go ahead and take it away.
Yeah.
Again, this is going to be Midnight Bride. The title of the story is Patience.
Which I have known.
Is that a parenthetical behind it? Which I have none
No,
of?
no. I guess while writing this, I was like, in my mindset, the character
Mhm.
is patient. Not that I wanted to base it off of myself, but
No, we'll get into it.
yeah.
We'll get into it.
So, okay.
Take it away.
There's something about the moment of your first kill. All that practicing that leads to success, leaving you with a sense of triumph and accomplishment. Patience is the most important lesson when learning to hunt. This was taught to me at a young age. I remember my grandmother rocking back and forth in her favorite rocker on her back porch. I was no more than 6, trying to hold a BB gun, almost double my size. She instructed me to shoot the cans lined up on the log in front of me. They were no more than 8 feet away from where I stood, but the weight of the gun was heavy. Over time, a BB gun was replaced with a rifle. The weight became lighter, and the distance of the targets grew further. The rifle had become an extension of myself and a part of my daily life. Grandma was always independent. She had to be once Grandpa died. He passed before I was born, leaving her to raise my mom by herself and run a butchering business. I can't remember how old I was when Mom ran off with a random drifter. She would always disappear for weeks at a time, but weeks turned into years. Life went on, and so did the two of us. Grandma continued to teach me how to run the business with her. Hunting season was always the busiest, but during the off season, there were enough farms around to get some cattle that needed butchering. I continued to go to school. She always made sure I kept up my grades. College was never in the books for me. I finished high school with the same kids I had known my entire life. It was a small town, and higher education opportunities were for the kids with parents who had money. Only a few of my graduating class left town. I can count the elite on one hand, but the one with the most pull was the mayor. The mayor's family was small, but they had the biggest rap sheet the town had ever seen. Of course, no one would ever see those crimes on paper, but there was always talk from the victims of the town. Over time, the mayor retired himself to money laundering and fraud, but alcoholism was always constant. This didn't fall far from the tree with his son, who was a few years older than me. He had had all the opportunities and then some to succeed in life. College at any university of his choice, even though his grades were a lie in high school, and any job he wanted once he graduated with his degree. The only problem was he failed out of several universities, always coming back home. At least here, he could feel like the big fish in the little pond. Eventually, he gave up on higher education and pursued opportunities to terrorize the locals, just like in his teenage years. The only problem was no one was willing to hold him responsible for his crimes. When he was a teenager, it consisted of underage drinking and vandalism, which at the time was what most of the kids did to pass the time. As an adult, harassment and aggravated assault were his new hobbies. This could easily be brought on by anything that ticked him off. Everyone did their best to either avoid him or appease him. They knew that if things didn't go his way, that they would be next on his list. And with the cops wrapped around his father's finger, he wouldn't face any consequences. Once he got cut off at the local bar for being visibly too intoxicated, he retaliated by throwing some beer bottles, which got him kicked out by the bouncer. A few days later, the same bouncer ended up in the hospital with a shattered kneecap and a few broken ribs. Everyone knew what happened. Nothing was ever reported to police, and he was never cut off at the local bar again. His tirades continued over the years until one day I actually became his next target. I was at the farmer's market picking out produce for the week. It was very busy, and the buzz of the people talking was too loud to make out what one single person was saying. I was carrying a large wooden box of food and couldn't see well in front of me when I tripped over an unseen obstacle on the ground. The person in front of me must have gotten most of the hit, because the next thing I knew, there was a crash and they were headfirst in the stand of vegetables. The silence was piercing as everyone realized what had just occurred and who it was that was getting up from the pile of vegetables. Of course, it was the tormentor of the town. It was just my luck. I could feel my face turning red with embarrassment and my eyes filling up with tears. All I could do was apologize, but it was hopeless. There was a crowd of people that just stood there as this man cursed me up and down. I just stood there like a statue, accepting that I had just marked myself with a bullseye. He eventually stormed off to his truck and sped onto the dirt road. The crowd started to disperse, but there were whispering and side glances of concern. It was only a matter of time before I would have to face the aftermath of this day. It was a tense couple of days, and I tried to avoid going anywhere, but between work and home. Grandma did her best to calm my nerves, but completing most of the errands for that week. She had convinced me that this would eventually blow over by the end of the week. The weekend finally came, and with the shop closed, I had time to go out of town to get some supplies. It would be a drive, but it would also give me some time away from everything that happened the weekend before. Saturday morning, I went over the list of supplies with my grandma. Several items would be for the automated hooks needed to lift heavy pieces of cattle for butchering. Some of the parts had gone bad and needed replacement, but it took a while to locate them. I had finally found the parts, but they were a few towns over. It would take all day to get to the supplier. I said my goodbyes to Grandma as I got ready to leave with the van. As I drove away, I couldn't help but look at the rearview mirror with a feeling of dread in the pit of my stomach. The day went quickly. I made my smaller stops along the way to the supplier furthest away. I did have to stop for gas once on my way there, and as I was pumping gas, there was a severe weather warning for thunderstorms later that evening. It would make the trip back even longer than I had hoped for. Once I had made it to my final stop, ominous clouds started to make their way across the sky. I made the transaction quick and loaded up the van with the replacement parts, knowing I would never make it home in time before the storm hit. It was already getting dark by the time I made it to the highway, and I still had about 3 hours of drive time when the rain came. The cars in front of me had put their hazard lights on and were slowing to a crawl from the curtain of rain blinding any view of the path ahead. It was around midnight as I made it to my last exit to get home, and a wave of relief washed over me. I could feel the exhaustion, but I knew I only had a little bit more to go once I saw the welcome sign to my town. Of course, it started to downpour as if someone was spraying my windshield with a hose. Even though it was hard to see, I knew the roads well, and the turn was coming up on the dirt road leading to the house. All the lights were off in the house. I knew that meant Grandma was asleep. She probably couldn't stay up any longer, and I don't blame her. The rain was still coming down hard, so I decided to just wait until it let up before making a run to the house. A flash of lightning illuminated the sky, making it almost seem like daylight. Something about the house didn't seem right. Oh, I missed it. I tried to squint through the water beating against the driver's side window. Another flash confirmed my fears. The front door to the house was open. Panic overtook me. I didn't care if I got soaked. I ran across the grass and into the house screaming for my grandma the entire time. It was completely dark in the house. None of the lights worked, but it didn't take long for me to find her, and I felt myself sink to the floor. The cop in front of me said something, but I didn't hear it. He repeated it, asking if I had seen anyone out of place recently, and I shook my head. Apparently, someone had shimmied one of the back windows open, thinking no one was home. There didn't seem to be much of a struggle, but the intruder must have come across my grandma and attacked her. From what they could tell, it was blunt force trauma, but the coroner would do an autopsy for official cause of death. The detective was still in the house looking for evidence. I didn't have much hope. They were not the most competent, and even if they did find something, it wouldn't matter. I already knew who did this. Nothing would be done about it. The best thing to do would be to let them play out their roles. I couldn't stay at home for the next couple of days until they officially cleared the scene. So the small little back office at our butcher shop was home for now. I don't think I could go back to that house anytime soon. It just reminded me of how this was all my fault. He was looking for me and found my grandma instead. The guilt tore into me as I lay on the small sofa in the dark. My tears eventually took everything out of me, and sleep finally came. The shop remained closed until I could make funeral arrangements, which didn't include much. We didn't have any family left as far as I was aware of, and we weren't too close to anyone in town. For my own closure, I arranged for the pastor to come say a few words at her grave. To my surprise, a handful of people did come to pay their respects, our usual customers that we knew for years. It was heartwarming until I saw the mayor. He made his way over to me with his politician smile, offering his deepest condolences, the smell of whiskey on his breath, saying how my grandmother was in his thoughts and prayers. I knew he was just making face, feeling it out to see if I knew who the cause of her death was. This was something his son had taken too far, even if his intent was only to hurt and not to kill. Of course, I thanked him for coming to pay his respects with the best smile I could muster up. It seemed to leave him at ease, and he made his way around to a few people, shaking hands on his way out. Even though the house was cleared, I couldn't bring myself to stay there, not overnight at least. I stayed at the shop working on the automatic hooks that needed to be repaired, since sleeping just led to more crying. The shop had been closed for a week now, and I needed to get the place in order before I could open again. Kept my mind off things as I worked in the back freezer, preparing for the week to come. Hunting season would be starting in a couple of days, and I really needed the business to help pay for the new parts. It took a few tries, but I finally finished repairing the mechanical hook system, and I was ready to test it out. They all moved up and down with the remote with ease. I stood there admiring my work, watching the hooks sway back and forth as they slowly came to a still position. Something started to scratch its way to the front of my mind. It was grief again, and it was also a mix of other emotions. Anger started to make itself dominant. How could anyone just let him get away with killing an innocent person that never did anything to him? I didn't care who his father was. He was never going to stop tormenting people. Something had to be done. My mind started to race with ideas of revenge. At first, the plans were simple, such as vandalizing his truck. That wasn't good enough, though. The punishment had to fit the crime. All I could think about was my grandmother and how she was alone, scared. I would make sure that would be the last thing he experienced. This had to be done with thoughtful planning. I didn't want to get caught and just make it look like something terrible may have happened to him. He was at the bar most nights. I would just need to wait for the perfect time when he was alone. That night finally came. Everything was set. I just had to wait for him to go into the bar. Most people here leave their vehicles unlocked. If it wasn't, I would have to try another way. Lucky for me, the back door to his truck was unlocked. I got in and laid down in the back seat for him to return. Not sure how much time passed. The driver's side opened and I felt himself shift into the seat. The smell of cigarettes and alcohol filled the space. The roar of the truck came to life and we started moving toward the road. I would only have a few opportunities to make my move. The best time would be when he makes a stop at the intersection. My only concern was he was drunk and probably not going to follow any rules of the road. This was it. I felt the truck stop and the adrenaline rush through me as I grabbed the back of his head by his hair. With the other hand, I slapped the homemade chloroform rag over his mouth. His grunts muffled by the rag while he thrashed his arms. The struggle was surprisingly minimal, and only a few seconds passed before he went limp. I acted quickly, jumping out and opening the front passenger seat, pulling him across on his side. Now with the driver's side free, I was able to make my way back to the shop where this would all end. Getting him into the back of the building would be easy once I got his dead weight into the wheelbarrow with the rope I had waiting. No one would be here all weekend with hunting season, which meant hiding his truck in the back until I could get rid of it would be easy. I sat there watching him while he started to wake up. Confusion crossing his face, then panic as he realized he was hanging from his ankles naked. The chains rattled as he tried to reach up with his tied hands. He finally noticed me calling for help, but his relief turned to anger when I didn't make any effort to get him down from the hook. The veins in his face bulged not only from the blood rushing to his face, but from him screaming profanities in my direction. I didn't cry this time from his words. I got up from my seat and made my way over to the work table that had a layout of cutting tools that were from fine cutting to hacking off larger pieces of meat. He grew quiet once he saw what I had planned for him. I had skinned animals hundreds of times, but never a person. It couldn't be that hard, though. The best way to begin would be with the skinning knife, just like any other time. He started to beg when I turned and he saw what I was holding. There was no turning back now, even if I wanted to, and I truly didn't. Grabbing his ankle, I sliced a ring into his skin, blood gushing up his leg, eventually dripping onto the tiled floor of the freezer. His screams of pain continued as I cut a clean line down the back of his thigh, ending right below his glute. I put the knife down on the work table and used my fingers to dig into the lines at the base of his ankle where they made a T shape. His skin made a wet tearing sound when I yanked downward, exposing the muscle of his calf and thigh. His blood-curdling screams turned into whimpers, and I realized he had passed out. That was okay. I had all night for him to gain consciousness again. It only took about 40 minutes for him to start to come back, the fear and panic washing over his face once he remembered what happened. The process of cutting continued with his other leg. Then I moved onto his chest. He tried to bargain, but I just remained quiet. It wasn't what I wanted to hear. Hours went by and the bloody flesh started to pile up below him. I went slower, hoping he would stay awake. It was hard to tell, but he started to mumble something, and I stopped slicing at his upper arm. He finally said the words I had wanted to hear from him. He had confessed to what he had done to my grandma and how I was the one he was really after that night. He bloomed through his tears and blood in his eyes, begging for forgiveness. I had almost felt sorry for him and how this had to end, but for every animal hunt, you do have to put it out of its misery. I crouched down in front of him and smiled. Then I moved behind him. Pulling his head back, I severed his artery with a clean, swift motion. The blood spattered across the freezer walls as he spasmed. I watched the rest of his blood pool onto the floor and slowly make its way down the drain. Word made its way around the mayor that the mayor's son was missing and his truck was found by the dock. There was concern he may have fallen into the water or wandered into the woods and was injured. The police were trying to get a search party together, but not many people were willing to help find someone that they didn't really want to find. The party consisted of the mayor and the police department, most of whom were on his payroll. They were asking for volunteers to feed the search. Only 3 people besides myself showed. It seemed they were breaking for lunch when the mayor came over to the tent we were serving food from. A line started to form, and I made sure to serve everyone a large bowl of my grandmother's famous stew. Some even came back for seconds. Eventually, I had to turn people away when the pot was empty. The mayor came over to thank everyone before they did their last search for the day. When it was my turn for him to speak with, I put the biggest smile on while we spoke. He started small talk with me and thanked me for making the stew. I explained to him how I had caught a big buck over the weekend and I didn't want the meat to go to waste. Before he left, I made sure to tell him how his son was in my thoughts and prayers.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's fucking awesome.
I tried so hard with this.
Dude, that was so good.
I had a feel with it.
Yeah.
It's I will say you wrote it very well.
Thank you.
And I will say that you surprised the shit out of me
Okay.
because I didn't know you were going to get that brutal.
I didn't know how
It
bad I should make it.
made me a little queasy because
Okay.
I hate like when people describe like
I didn't know how gruesome I should
anatomically
get.
taking things apart.
Yeah.
Like you've heard me on episodes be like, like someone's talking about like
Yeah.
breaking a finger and like the bone, you see the bone sticking out, and like that's the type of shit that makes me go like,
Seeing that stuff doesn't bother me. But
so
I
it's
didn't know
cool,
how
it's
I
cool
didn't
that
know
you did that
Thanks.
though.
I didn't know how gruesome I should get. I was like, I don't want people to think
You
I'm
went
a fucking
gruesome enough.
psychopath.
You went no. That's the point of this though,
Yeah.
is to go hard.
Yeah.
You went gruesome enough that it made sense, and
Okay.
it made sense to the story.
I
And
just like how she writes so competently.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean,
I write
it's-
so
it's-
incompetently.
it's fair because you could tell that you put a lot of thought into
That's why it took
into
me a
what you were
while.
trying to say. And I will say, it's not, don't take this any sort of way.
No, I'm not taking it.
It's not necessarily new.
No, it's not.
Very much a revenge thriller, which
Yeah.
holy shit, this genre has been around since the 70s. It's I Spit on Your Grave.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking Creep Show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you made it your own. And you did your own thing, and you took your own emotion and your own backstory and your own familial status, and you mixed it in, and you made the literal meat and bones out of something that you relate to, and that's fucking cool.
Thanks. I took a lot of ideas from one of the Greek tragedies that I read. And
which one?
It was the one where the woman finds out her husband is cheating on her or something, and then she kills her kids and like feeds him.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so that one.
Yeah.
Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Criminal Minds. Yeah.
All of us.
There was one from Criminal Minds.
Crime
I watch so much true crime. I love the ones where they're just like, and they were dismembered and found in I watch that while I'm working home alone, and then afternoon Groom will come home and be like, what the fuck are you on?
Sips coffee listening to
I do. That's how I enjoy
my
my morning. I listen to true crime or I watch it. I watch like unsolved mysteries and they were never found again.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take some stuff from that. I have never hunted. I always grew up with people in my family hunting. I've never butchered an animal. I have done a lot of anatomy in my high school and college years, but that's it. But I'm
pretty sure the last time I came over, we were talking about what was it, cats or frogs?
Yeah, but I had also gone to the cadaver lab. At the
human bodies.
Yeah, I never dissected them, but I did get to see them, and we did. I got to hold a brain. I got to see somebody's leg that had like a knee replacement, damn. We got to see a uterus. But there was like dead, but no, there was like dead bodies on the table.
Let's see some more.
They're like ripped open, and we
that's crazy. Okay, I haven't been there.
No,
I haven't seen
it was at one of the local universities.
Yeah.
They don't open it up anymore, but when I was in high school, that was something you could go and see if you were in the honors anatomy and physiology class. It was a good time. I actually really enjoyed it. It was really cool to see all of that. It's not for everyone. Some people ended up leaving the room. So
No, and here's the thing with when I'm in the moment, when it's happening, I'm not queasy about things. Whenever anything bad has happened around me and something severe needs to be, someone needs to assist something, like I'm not the type of person to like throw up or gross out or avert my eyes, like when I think the thing about stories, the thing about fiction and storytelling is that these are just words on a page, so you're painting the picture in your own mind. And I think that's the reason I get a little queasy, because I'm like,
you have to think about it.
I'm at one point I'm conjuring up the image myself, and I'm saying, oh, I know what that looks like, and I'm putting that in my own brain, and that's what's making me uncomfortable about it, is that I'm imagining this to be this way,
Yeah.
It's one thing to be like watching a movie and seeing it happen. We've all seen the closest thing I can think of my brain actually went to while we were reading was Terrifier, when he takes the chainsaw and just goes right down that chick.
And see, I never saw Terrifier.
And she's strong. Okay, so
I also thought of that other one too, the one where the girl disappears from the rich people. The rich people kill them in the underground. She slices her neck and it comes down on top of her. The blood.
Oh, you know what else I was trying to go for?
Rich people?
The what's it called? The Tourist?
Tourist. I don't know if I've seen that.
2000s movie?
Okay.
That's what reminded
I was also thinking of Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
Fucking love Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, so...
No, that's fair. Okay, yes.
So
A little bit of cannibalism, a little bit of skinning when you're taking meat apart. Yeah, no,
yeah,
that makes sense.
because I just kind of recently watched,
Oh, we've watched.
So
we've
I was
watched
like,
all of it. We've
I like
watched all of
that.
it.
Let's do that too.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Inspiration. You obviously had a good time writing it and putting it together. And
very good. Very great.
And I feel like I could see you in your own story, and I feel like I feel like I get it, and I see what you were doing. Is there anything I'm missing that you want to elucidate me or the audience with?
No.
About any of your process or anything? Because I feel like you've...
No, I had like a story in my head. I changed a few things.
Was this what you set out to write from the get-go? This was the idea you had?
I was
like
going
revenge thriller type of thing?
No, I was originally going to do like a serial killer kind of thing. But then I was like, I feel like this shit just like so cliched now a little bit. So I was like, maybe it's just because I watched too much Criminal Minds. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go for like a revenge thing. And originally it was supposed to be like brothers. But then I was like, how can a small time girl like take on two dudes? You know, so I was like, I'm gonna switch it to one person who's drunk.
Bring it down.
And easily they can be taken out.
Well, it shows the calculation behind the patience.
Yeah, exactly.
The patience implies several different things. Logic, cunning, development, planning, you know, all of these aspects come into what it means to actually coldly take someone down like that, which is...
And you need patience for hunting, and that's like that was like the whole thing. Like her grandma taught her the value of patience.
Yeah,
yeah,
she was.
Yeah, and like I know my dad talks about how like he's in the woods constantly, just sitting there for freaking hours at a time, waiting for a deer to come by, and sometimes they just don't.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, thanks. I tried really hard. I know
you did.
That was fantastic.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
And
You should be very proud.
I had to go back and reread.
I only did a few tweaks, but yeah. Thank you.
So just to get into it, my next guest here, on this episode is Glitch Blob.
Hey yo.
Who is coming to us from across the country, as he does, existing solely on the internet. He's been uploaded into your hard drive. He's going through your shit. He found the stuff you're embarrassed about.
This is some lame shit. I'm in your computer, bro.
You're like the digital virus from the Digimon movie, just kind of dancing.
Yeah.
Just kind of dancing through everyone's hard drive.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Glitch Blob. I don't know what order things are going to go in yet. I don't know who's going to go when, so I'm just saying you're here on the first episode with a couple other people. We'll see how things shake out, but I'm excited just to kind of get into it a little bit. I'm looking at the title here.
Yeah.
And the title is
nervous. Ooh.
The title is Did You Know About the Park?
Yeah.
That's the title.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very
what's fucking
interesting
name,
because
but
I want to say immediately, no, I didn't know about the park.
Exactly. I definitely writing this mix between of local lore.
Oh.
But also I really just like wanted to have something that was like very like classically like creepypasta kind of vibes. You know
I'm real into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This definitely reminds me of either classic No Sleep or classic creepypasta where someone is just like, I'm writing this to ask the question and the question is going to be answered, and at the very end we're going to decide whether or not the answer was good or not.
And honestly, have you ever read because you don't really read manga, do you?
Sometimes. Depends.
Have you ever... So there's Junji Ito, but then if you go like deeper in the iceberg, there's PTSD Radio. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Oh, I've been rereading it because the creator literally made this like blood creature and then like same day like had an absolute panic attack and was like bleeding from his mouth and went to the hospital and was convinced that it was like these blood creatures
he willed
had
it
made
into
in the
existence.
manga. Yeah, and he was like absolutely so fucking, but he like genuinely just like had some sort of blood condition.
Oh sure, yeah.
And like he was just so like elated and pushed back by it that he stopped making the manga. But the manga is pretty good. It has like nice.
This is a
vibes.
Japanese individual when you say manga. Okay, so the first thing of note in that story is that Japanese people are very dedicated to their belief systems. They're very dedicated
and
to
his
the
is
structure.
very based around like a yokai, like a hair monster.
Exactly.
So it's very like traditional.
If he's a very
folklore-based,
spiritual person, then it stands to reason that he's like, oh fuck, I tapped into something.
Yeah.
And it tapped the window back.
I like that ancient like evil
fuck yeah.
time, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah, dude. So is that the vibe you were kind of rocking when you were writing your stuff? You were like, I'm gonna tap on a window and I'm gonna see if it hits back.
But just exactly. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty much the vibes.
So I ask everyone this, and I think you're actually the first person. I've only recorded with like half of my group so far. I would say I've recorded with maybe 10 or so people, and we have 20. That's going to be split over the course of, crazy enough, 6 episodes. So you're here on the first episode with other people that you know that we talk to all the time, like Midnight Bride and Afternoon Groom. So you're on a good episode with good friends, and the vibe I've gotten so far out of the group that I've hit with is very open spectrum, very wide spectrum of storytelling here. So I immediately want to say I applaud you on your hitting the ground running with something that you can vibe with, because I think this process was an ask. For a lot of people, it was a big ask. There's a lot of people I haven't recorded with yet that like they don't write very often, and they don't have that kind of creative process. And I'm excited to see what people like that are capable of too.
I was about to say, but it's even more interesting to hear.
It is going to make it. It's definitely going to make it crazier. Like Midnight Bride is one of those people. Like she is very classically trained in art,
but such a wild card too when it comes to like story. I'm like, that could be
exactly.
So
this is someone who is very good at adornment and jewelry and fashion. Like this is someone who is very classically trained in design. That I'm asking to write a story, and what was I surprised at all when her story turned out to be a fucking banger? Like, yeah, no, I was, but I was also like, you know what? You had this inside of you the entire time, and I'm glad that I was able to unlock that for you.
Yeah.
So I already know that you and I vibe on so many different levels, and that whatever you put pen to paper here for, I'm already excited. To hear. And then you're talking about your manga, Ito kind of urban like inspiration, your muse, and then you're talking about hitting old chords for things that created this show, for things that originally got my attention. You got my attention. So
I also
yeah.
I don't want to like keep adding, but like a hint of maybe I shouldn't even say it. No.
I mean, we'll definitely talk about it after. We'll definitely, if you don't want to give anything away, we'll definitely talk about it after. No, I took a lot of inspiration for the stuff I wrote. I wrote 4 short stories, and I took a lot of inspiration from a lot of things I like. And I think it's just, that's the world we live in, is that we look at something and we say, I want to be like that. And then you try to find a way to emulate, you pay respect to,
Like I absolutely love if any actual like genuine readers out there, because it's such a task, is House of Leaves.
Fuck yeah, dude!
And just like going to like the game.
Talk
like,
about something really impossible to try and bring to this show.
Yeah. That's like something that's like because I wouldn't say that like I necessarily write, and I feel like writing was like a little bit of a struggle because like same like I kept like imagining this, like putting in this like graphic novel or like illustrative form, and I was like, oh, I could do a pen to paper, but it like feels weird putting it like
A
in
different
words.
way.
Yeah.
You're very good at illustrating. You're very good at, seeing the image in your mind. But now we need to turn that image into words. Let's see how good you did.
So I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm very nervous. But we'll play it out.
So the
But
question I
just
asked.
same thing. I really
Yeah.
no, not yet.
No. Finish your thought.
Really, just House of Leaves shit.
I fucking love House of Leaves. So the fact
like
that you
the
said that, I
eternal
was just
darkness
thinking about
and,
House
like-
of Leaves literally the other day, and I was like, I kind of want to pick that back up. Not
Dude,
even as
honestly, it's right behind me, and I've been like debating on just like grabbing it in the afternoon. But I feel like it's once I start, I like
it's a
you know,
a hole.
You
find
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
in
You
a
can't
hole.
just stop. Yeah, and it's so interesting. It's like
I read that in college,
It's definitely
yeah.
a mood.
10,
you
12
really
years
have to-
ago. Yeah.
Be in a certain almost headspace to read that kind of shit.
But I'm always into
It's so
that
crazy.
though.
Yeah,
I'm always in. There's
kinda
there's
same,
an
though.
element of conspiracy. There's an element of surrealism. There's an element of complete terror and horror
Like, it's
and
like-
psychological torment.
like people definitely. I would say when I say one of my favorite movies is like Grave Encounters, but it's
Fuck yeah, I
only
love
because-
Grave Encounters.
But it like people are like I found footage. I'm like whatever the fuck. What really fucks with me is like the Winchester House effect. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like oh shit, there was a door here before. What the fuck? There's a staircase here now. What
The
the
door
fuck's
that
happening?
leads
You know, like-
nowhere. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, get me like the shed in the woods that's like bigger on the inside than it's on the outside, like the
Dianea
Noah
house
kind of vibes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
I love all of these things.
Yeah,
So let's see it.
yeah. I was like, so.
So let's hear about this park.
Essenced into some shit.
So here's what I want to reiterate. The question I've come to the table with everyone so far that I've recorded with has been, do you want to read this to me, or are we reading it together, or do you want me to read it? And it's interesting that only one other person kind of like wrote a character for me to read in their story, but everyone
I, like,
else
aimed
wanted
for
to
that.
read to me, which I
that's
respect.
cute.
Which I respect.
I kinda thought it would be this vice
People
versa.
write in their own voices. People
Yeah.
imagine their
Yeah,
voice.
I
They've
agree.
been working on it for so long. Most of them have.
I
It's like-
literally was imagining like your like the lines that I wanted for you in your voice. So I was like, he's gonna do like he's gonna do something stupid. I was like, I don't know. He's gonna be like,
Okay.
hey, what you doing over? Yeah, I don't know. I figured you would just do something goofy. So
I want to reiterate the title just to put that fresh back into everyone's mind. Did you know about the park? Number 1, the dive. Loud chatter, clinking of glasses, and a loud crack from the pool table. I mean, there's so many tunnels under the city. I've also worked at so many kitchens out here with creepy tunnels. Me and a bartender I worked with went in one. They're very narrow. We went like a mile in and turned the fuck back when we hit a fork. Those old prohibition tunnels are creepy. Gently kissing his beer for a sip.
oh, dude, I used to work at a place with a creepy tunnel too. Everybody there left candles around the entrance, joking about leaving food scrap offerings to a piece of basement monster. Corner of a sandwich, a few fries here and there. I was just said they're feeding the rats, but a little unsettling, but what can you do?
Lightly chuckling at the thought. Oh, dude. You heard about the horse
Oh,
statue?
dude.
Yo, dude.
I'm dead.
You heard about the horse statue by the airport, yeah? Pointing at the screen off an outdated TV above the battle-hardened bar.
It's Lucifer, right? All I know is I hate driving there at night. Long stretch of flat land, then all of a sudden, boom! Tall, blue horse with one glowing red eye staring at you. Getting brighter and brighter as you get closer. Not the biggest fan.
Said, shaking off his nerves. Oh my god, wait. Bet you don't know why it's there. Pausing, waiting for the rhetorical response.
Oh, what? Why is it there?
Glad you asked. So, the airport was going to reject it because, well, It's creepy. Even creepier is the statue fell over on its creator and it killed them. They had a change of heart after that, so isn't that wild? They felt so bad, like, you know, the guy's dead, we can't, like, say no now. So now, it lives at the airport. All said with a bit of excitement as he takes a hastened slurp from his glass. Crazy shit! You can't write shit like that!
No way that's even fucking true.
Shaking his head and rolling his eyes in dissatisfaction. Then turning to the bartender, exchanging glances for last call.
Hey.
The man sits forward in his seat, barely even sitting on his stool anymore, trying to really think of something that will get under his friend's skin. Pint glass to lips, but too focused in thought to take a sip. Oh yeah, I heard this the other day. The park, right here, the one you take home from work.
Nah, no way. I'm not gonna let you ruin my walks from through the park. Ah!
Covering ears with hands, leaning in to take a sip from his freshly frothed Pilsner. I think it's fine now, but it used to be a huge graveyard.
Bro, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? The cemetery got so overrun and dilapidated that people took their dead to nicer cemeteries. Then they couldn't keep up with the place and the city decided they would make it into a park. Eventually they hired some people to clear it out and move the bodies. The kicker is, they only kinda move them. They hack off bits and pieces and get paid for a full body with nobody the wiser. As he takes a quick sip, looking satisfied with himself. Yup, there are 1,000 bodies still there. I googled it. I was reading some articles that people still find bones in the park from time to time. The bar music dies, and the dim bar lights become blinding.
Why are we friends? Somebody needs to regulate your internet intake.
Grabbing his jacket while finishing the last bit of his drink, they both leave Cash and weasel their way out of the narrow, rapidly emptying bar. As they approach the door, the inside chatter gets drowned out by the bassy.
Yeah, don't hate me.
No. I know what you meant.
Really,
I just said it
This
wrong.
is really proper to
By the
Reddit
bassy
stories.
patio music and the busy street. They both walk in tandem with hands fumbling in pockets, poking around, prepping for a nicotine-binged walk home. After a few blocks of banter and bow-legged steps, they come to a very crucial moment where the last bit of the journey home truly starts, when each person goes their own way, left up to their own devices to complete the mission objective, getting home safe in bed. This time is very crucial. Anything can go wrong. So many drunken variables, from getting a late-night slice of pizza to a surprise nap on a nice bench. They both stop on the corner of the street and look across toward the ill-lit aforementioned park. Well, let me know if you don't make it. Hope you don't get taken by an army of the dead, said while exhaling the last of his cigarette, flicking it into the street. He turned to walk away, but stopped and took a look at his friend. Oh, sorry. I didn't spook you that much, did I? As they waited in a moment of silence. Long sigh.
Yeah. I could just walk around the park, but then I feel like you'd win.
Sharing a bit of a side glance.
It's not like all I can think about is mangled parts, body parts beneath me. I don't have any feeling towards tortured souls or anything, but I know for sure I wouldn't like it if I had a nice grave and somebody just ripped an arm and some ribs and left me left the rest of me. I was to say left to die. I'm already dead.
You're already dead. You can't
I'm
die
already
if you're
dead.
dead. You're already dead.
I already dead, man.
Or, follow me here, it could be badass, like somebody in the future finds your corpse and is just like, what even happened to this body? And all these other bodies. We must investigate. It'll be a huge archaeological find. It'll be like finding Pompeii all over again. You know about Pompeii? You know about the two guys who were found sucking each other's dicks in Pompeii, or the guy who was caught jorking it. The guy who was caught jorking it right when he got covered by ash. You ever hear about that?
The pooping guy. Pooping guy's my spirit animal.
Said with arms outstretched, like presenting a grand scheme.
What? Didn't you say that they already recorded that? There were like thousands of partial bodies in the park?
Yeah.
So, how is that they find new if they already know that it's a factual information? You know what? Never mind.
I mean, was that too soon? That I don't get it. It happened like a while ago. Wait, right? Holding up fingers like he's actually counting something. They both give passing glances. One shrugs. One rolls his eyes,
Well, I'll see you tomorrow then, I guess.
trying to hide a nervous gulp. I want your games if you die. Waving frantically as the other man walks off. Is that a yes? As the man completely ignored his friend's antics and proceeded across the street toward the park. His friend watched him off as they lit another cigarette underneath the streetlight, engulfing the streetlight in a cloud of smoke, shimmered in the incandescent flare, burning like a sigil, disappearing as he ascends.
Number 2, the park.
God damn it.
Okay, I wasn't gonna do that, but I just thought about
It
that.
came to
I
you,
couldn't
it's
help
okay. I respect it. God damn it, I respect it.
I'm alone now. That's fine. It's totally fine. It was always fine. It's just a park, right? There's lore everywhere. There's nothing to be truly afraid of. That all being obvious, he takes short, slow steps, buying all the time he can, all while observing the most apparent veil of the park. Almost scared to push past the threshold, getting the same buzz in the air as a cemetery at night. You can barely even hear the city anymore. All noise is muffled. Only the silent hum of the park exists now. This is the moment where logic is thrown out the door. The moment where you can tell yourself something over and over, but fear always has a different plan. Even if you're walking through a park you've walked through every day for years, all it takes is the right mental state and the right moment to be taken to its horrifying embrace. Locked in your own world. A place that feels like no other you've ever been. It's a stupid little thing. Why is it getting to me so much? Focus. This is stupid. Stupid fucking guy saying stupid fucking things. I'm not scared. This isn't scary. I do this every day. It's just a walk, right? Nothing's fucking changed. You can start to hear the cracks and dips in his voice. I was gonna go. Nothing has changed. Just a minute ago, he had so much resolve. The man chanted his mantras in his head, even murmuring it aloud. At this point, he wasn't walking, but wasn't really running either. You could see the fear changing him, altering his movements, making them unnatural. He started having an almost spastic bounce in his step, sometimes stepping at an odd angle so he can take just the slightest glance behind him, constantly fighting the urge to do a full 360 spin. He continued dancing up the long sidewalk, with many poorly lit street lamps along it. The dispersed pools of amber light were so far apart, feeling like they got even farther apart as the path continued into the dark. The only other source of light in the park came from a large stone pavilion being held up by marble columns, looking like they came straight from the Roman capital. A large staircase and fountain in front to match. It was very pretty during the day, bustling with flowers, but during the night, it becomes an ominous beacon, allowing only slivers of the same putrid amber light to escape between the pillars. Eyes darting between the radiating columns and patches of darkness, it felt like the air was grabbing at him, poking at his shoulders. He knew there was nothing there, but his body started sending tingles up his spine, making everything feel even more real. His whole body was tingling, every hair raised. He knew there wasn't anything to be truly afraid of, but all you can think of is what's lurking in the darkness. The cold starts to bite at his eyes and make them tear up as he picks up the pace. He can see his road just peeking into view. Never has he been so happy to see the goddamn street sign. A nervous smirk almost sneaks across his face. Fuck this park! He screams to himself with the finish line in sight. The cold air scorches his lungs as he finishes the last 50-yard dash. The more he ran, the more he couldn't shake the feeling of something nipping at his heels. The closer he got, the more anxious he got, overjoyed to get to the street, but scared as hell that somebody could get him before it gets there. The sigh of relief when his feet finally met the pavement of the street. He was finally basking in the vibrant and abundant streetlights.
Number 3. Final stretch.
Well, that was stupid. I'm stupid. I fucking hate this park now.
He says as he cackles and slowly turns around to see if the abyss is staring back.
I don't know why I just hyped myself up so much. Jesus, thank God that's over.
Both hands now on his legs, supporting himself to take a little rest. He straightens his back to stretch and just stares at the park, adjusting his eyes to the new light in the darkness of the park. He tried to focus on the light coming from the pavilion in the park. His vision was blurry as he adjusts and tries to focus in. He sees something. He can't really tell what's going on. People could be in the pavilion, but it's pretty late, and he didn't see anybody at all when he went through the park. Or at least, he didn't think he did. Bzzzt, bzzzt.
Oh shit.
Bzzzt, 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 bzzzt. He fumbles around as he tries to regain focus and pull the phone out.
Who the hell? Oh, this fucking guy.
As he swipes the phone to answer. Hey, you make it alive over there? you make it over there alive, you know? Oh, I figured you'd have crossed the gates of Mordor by now.
I'm doing fucking super, actually. Thank you. I'm almost home.
Oh, yeah? Show me proof. Before he was done speaking, his cell phone blipped. As he pulled the cell phone away from his face, he was met with a FaceTime and turned his video on, too.
See, I'm a big boy. I can go through the park, no big deal.
He said as he did a spin to show him where he was, then positioning the park behind him. No big deal. I haven't even finished my second cigarette. You must have ran through that park, man. As the friend continues to cackle like an evil villain.
Fuck you, man. I was just getting my steps in, bro.
Said finally, chuckling. Are you even on your road? Also, dude, you make a homeless friend on your jog through the park? That guy is pretty close to you. Really, man, who the fuck's the old guy? Holding his phone up, he was still smiling. Face locked in, but brain still processing what he just said. He slowly turned to see who was behind him, expecting it to just be somebody walking their dog, but nobody. There was nobody at all. He took a full spin and even went the other direction, but was just as confused as he seemed. He just stood there in silence for a minute, trying to understand the situation. Hello, dude. I'll come fight a dude if I gotta.
Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah, fucking good one, man. You're really fucking into fucking with me tonight, yeah?
Oh, dude, I saw a trashy looking old dude trying to make friends with you.
But dude, there's fucking nobody here, like nobody.
Totally flabbergasted, he rushes up to the edge of the park to look out a little bit better. He flips the video camera so he can zoom in and survey the land better.
There's no way somebody could have just ran off like that. Right?
He said, panning the park with his camera as steady as he can in his currently constantly creeped out state. Oh, hey man, go back a little. Oh, that's creepy as fuck, dude. Bro, just standing there like, what the fuck? He jerks the camera to the pavilion and adjusts between two columns. There was just somebody standing there. It's not too shocking, but he was just standing there, facing right at him. No movement, nothing, just standing there. It was so unsettling and ominous. They both sat there in silence, camera on the figure, both friends seeing the form but neither knowing really what to say. It was probably only 10 seconds max, but it was like they were sitting there locked in that moment. Not truly in fear, but just almost waiting for either party to react. Everybody locked in a terrifying standoff. They were both so tense, and suddenly, out of nowhere, it was broken. The figure jolted in his direction and disappeared downward into the darkness of the park. The panic started settling in. You could hear his friend on the phone. Oh fuck, dude, did he just run at you? That's creepy, right? Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck, dude? Dude, fucking run! What the fuck are you doing just standing there? He stared into the void of the park again, knowing something is coming, but not knowing when. His eyes still focused on the park, his legs walking toward home. The phone hung at his side, ignored as his friend continued making unintelligible screams. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! His pace accelerated slowly, while his face started to show the dawning realization of what just happened. Eyes still locked on the edge of the park as he gets further and further. Now tearing his head away from the park, he starts looking between eerie corners of buildings, darting anywhere large for a person's eyes to peer through. This could all be solved logically. This could all just be fear getting to his head. He got about a block away as his worry grew. His pace steadied out. Where was this mystery person? It really could have been somebody running downhill from the pavilion. Just some friends hanging out in the area. There are so many simple explanations to what he saw. He starts slowing down to walking down the sidewalk, taking his time to survey the area, slowly looking at every spot that could lead from the park. Maybe this all really was in his head. Maybe his friend messing with him really did the trick.
Oh, my mic was muted. I feel stupid.
But
I feel stupid.
So there was a point there where I made a bunch of unintelligible screams, and I was surprised when you didn't react.
Yeah, I was also like, hey, fuck that guy. Aw. It's okay, just a second. It just feels so stupid that this is the conclusion. What is this? Some guy just following me now? Why would he be following me? It's just so fucking silly.
He says to himself, trying to ease the situation, heard and reassure.
I don't know. I'm
just trying to ease the situation and reassure himself.
Yeah.
Gathering some composure, he begins a more casual walk home.
I just can't believe I freak myself out that much. I really gotta stop letting my friend get in my head so hard. Fuck that guy.
He mumbled, still keeping his head on a bit of a pivot. Finally remembering his friend, he went back down to his phone to see the call now ended and a few texts. He slowed down almost to a stop to read the messages, a few texts and one photo. It was too dark to make out at first, but then he realized what it was. His friend took a screenshot from their video call. It was a picture of the edge of the park, half showing the well-lit street, the other showing the dim park. As he read the messages, "It's running for you, dude," followed by, "You gotta get the fuck out of there, man." He sees the figure in the picture, nearly indistinguishable from the darkness. It looks like something is running. Something running right toward him. It wasn't just a guy in the park. It really is something coming for me. It was so blurry and pixelated you couldn't tell what the person really looked like. As soon as the thought went through his head, he heard a very faint rustling sound to his left. His eyes and head slowly turned toward the sound. He is now looking down a long gap between two city houses. The path was dark, but in the distance a floodlight turning on revealed something unimaginable. Like a flash, a tall, dark figure came into view. Every muscle in his body tensed. It was just a shadow, a figure he couldn't see anything over this towering being. He didn't know if it was really looking at him, but he could tell. He could feel the full attention of its gaze.
For the race. His brain screamed one thing: run. Adrenaline filled his brain like going warp speed out of absolute, unadulterated fear. He broke into a dead sprint. Everything became a blur as his focus honed in on a cold air ripping at his eyes. Sprinting as fast as he ever has before, looking in every alley and glancing in every gap between every house. He's getting closer and closer to his home. He just wants to be home, safe, away from all this crazy stuff going on. He didn't notice at first, but he started catching glimpses of the figure here and there. Every time he noticed the figure, through watery eyes, it got slightly closer. He ran faster and faster. The closer he got to home, the closer the thing seemed to get to him. He had no idea what was ahead of him. He could make it home, but then what? Would he have to always be hiding? Would he have to be exorcised? He's never even met a priest. What would his life even become? Plagued by a shadow for the rest of his life? All he could think is run. The only thing I can do is run. Ugh, run for your fucking life. There's nothing if you don't keep running. On the verge of so many emotions, all he can do is run. Just get home. Almost gargling out the words, just struggling for air. The shadow keeps getting closer and closer with every house he passes. Only 3 buildings left. It's so fucking close. 2 more buildings. It's basically on the sidewalk now. 1 more. Please, it's so close. Just 1 more building. He can see it. So close. Anxiety and stress reaching incomprehensible levels. Barely able to hold himself together, bursting the seams with fear. Brimming with emotions, eyes stinging and watering, nose leaking, prioritizing heavy breaths over sucking back the mucus. There wasn't time for that. This was the last stretch. That last little stretch felt so unbelievably long. All that's running through his head is a memory of elementary, a memory of bullies chasing him home from school. He ran and ran as hard as he could. Legs felt like the muscles were tearing and his lungs were on fire, just like now. So close. Fingertips just barely grabbing the door before being pulled away by the bullies, screaming for help. Now scared for the same reason, afraid he won't escape, afraid he won't make it inside, utterly afraid of what might get him in time. The fear just kept stacking, every second closer to the front gate, is a second closer to a new tier of fear he's never felt before. The gate is finally within arm's reach as he fumbles with his keys, trying his absolute best not to drop them. To get it right on the first try. He took a deep breath, just getting a USB on the first try, a moment of serotonin and a bit of relief as he opened the gate with swift ease. He had gotten through the gate, his biggest worry. Outer gate down. Then the actual building door, then the apartment on the 2nd floor. He could feel safe locked away up there in his perch, where he could easily see the street. He darted through the small courtyard of the building to the building door with the proper key in hand. eyes between the lock and the door and the street beyond the iron gates. As he jiggles the key in, he can see the figure again, faintly out of the corner of his eye, far outside of the gates, vaguely visible between some buildings down the road. All he can hear is the crickets and the static again. Frozen for just a bit too long, just staring at it. Locked in until the weight of his body slowly turned, making the key finally click into place. The clack of the lock breaks his focus, and he rushes through the door. Still catching his breath, he stumbles up the stairs, legs completely run out. Energy exhausted, running on nothing but backup fumes and adrenaline. He almost fell at the foot of the door. Now just needs to focus on the key, on the lock and the key. Nowhere else. Don't let your eyes wander around. Forcing the key into the lock with quaking hands, he bends the key just a little bit as he jolts. He saw it again. Down the hallway, out of the window in the second story, it just stared. It was just staring again. He thought he'd be safe up here. Why did he think that? Maybe he thought he would be locked away from this nightmare.
5. Home. He plowed through the door, key still in hand, as he fell to the floor, kicking the door closed behind him. There he sat, back against the door, completely and utterly exhausted. All he could hear was his own pulsing veins and his over-hyperventilated breaths. He could feel his head and chest physically pulsing as his heart rushed blood through his veins. Another moment of chaotic silence. What do you do in this situation? He jolted upright, legs a little wobbly, but he was able to check every lock on the door. Then, eyed the peephole from a distance, checking the hallway just in case. Nothing there. But it could be anywhere. Eyes bulging and body weak, he runs to every window in his apartment to take a good look at the street from each one. After surveying each window, he locks it, lowering every blind. He sat in a corner on the floor and wondered why he hadn't seen the shadow from his window. Where had it gone now? He looked everywhere, looked down at every gap between the building, every weird window, the base of each, and every pole and tree. Nothing. Not even a person walking their dog. It felt like he wasn't in his reality anymore. The lack of anything was so uncanny in the city. No cars, no people, no dogs, not even crickets anymore. Only the hum exists. It all started to connect. He slowly regains a bit of self, scared to look around, scared to see the thing in a place he doesn't want it to be. He stands and begins to turn on every single possible light in his home, even the oven light.
What do I even do?
He thought. What would anybody do in this situation? That thing got so close so fast, but it hasn't shown itself for such a long time now. Too scared to look down, he kneels and peers across some of the apartment. Every single light is out except for one directly across the street, one that clicked on as soon as he peeked out. He knows he shouldn't look, but nothing seems real right now, and the need to know takes control. Just a peek. He pried some of the blinds apart to look at the apartment that was giving off light. This is it. Everything he was dreading to see. A shadow just staring out from the single lit window. He could do nothing but gaze upon his watcher. It felt like being in a model town. Everything started to look unreal and fake. The uncanny feeling of this current moment was beyond surreal. Eyes felt like they were gonna bug out of his head. Then he started to notice other lights popping up, each one with its own indistinct shadow simply standing there, motionlessly.
Where am I? Am I going crazy? Is this all in my head? This all feels so displaced to not be, right? Did somebody drug me at the bar? I don't understand. I don't like it here. What is happening?
As he slams his hands against the window, starting to lose that bit of sanity he has left. So many questions to be asked and no answers in sight. The glow from all the windows reflected in his eyes. He was lost in a trance, staring at all the windows like little glowing screens, gaze darting between each glow, eyes pouring tears, completely captivated. Then, in the same way they had appeared, one by one, they all blinked off until all was complete darkness. His eyes struggled to adjust. It was so dark outside that all he could see was his own reflection. He glared at his image in the window, his own figure, stuck in his head with a decision. Keep the light on and never know what's outside, or turn it off and see what the darkness has in store. He was too deep into this, so far gone he had to know, he had to find out. He already knew he wasn't really home anymore. He could feel it in his gut. The walls started to look fake, like everything was a set. Nothing is truly set in its correct spot. Everything is right, but also that much not right. A difficult feeling to describe, like looking at the world through a tilt-shift lens. Like a dream. It feels so real and yet so ridiculous, and any room you're in isn't 100% the same as you remember. You know for a fact it isn't the same, but for some reason you still recognize the place and accept that it's a real thing even when you're looking directly at its flaws. Right now, he needs to see if this place is real or not, and the only way to do that is the light switch. Click. The light revealed something ancient, something from deep within another realm, something banished before the earth was created. This is a god from a locked-away time that nobody wanted anybody else to know about, something that can only be thought of in this twisted parallel realm. He saw a wall of eyes, hundreds of thousands of different smaller entities, stacking and piling, moving like one almost bonded together. Some slipped across just underneath its surface, scuttling under the skin like bugs. Some escaping the mass, toppling over one another just to get a look at him. Each entity is a different size and form, with many limbs that protrude in strange spots. It starts swelling against the windows more and more until hairline cracks begin to appear. The pulsating mass presses the glass until it splinters and pops under the pressure. That's all he can hear. The loud cracking and silent static hum. Moments pass as if building tension. Suddenly, the dispersed cracking of the windows gets interrupted by the man gasping for a large breath of air, feeling like he forgot how to breathe ages ago. Seeing this entity, its presence itself, it kicked him in the chest. The horror responded to him, slowly but gradually. Every single eye went from curiously looking to a pinning leer directly into his eyes. Then the murmurs started, the whispers of dozens of people. It started low and quiet and increased until all he could hear were the screams of thousands. So many voices, they almost synchronized to make a single hellish harmony of screams. It gets louder and quieter in waves. He feels a pressure in his head. The terror keeps pushing its way inside. The wall starts to come off in chunks. It starts trickling in black ooze from the cracks and rapidly increasing rate. Its screams start becoming a deep chittering. Thousands of individual entities chittering in unison as it slowly oozes its bodies through the gaps, pouring out gory chunks and more black viscous liquid with every tiny body. Such a deafening sound I've never even comprehended something being so loud. A pitch so high it felt like it was filling his eardrums, becoming a silent hum. His ears began to bleed. The pressure and sound were too much. His body started to give out. Vision started to blur. The horror was inside. The window made its last pop. The last thing he saw were millions of eyes flooding through the window, suffocating his view. It's pretty fucking heavy metal, dude.
Okay.
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 That really took a fucking turn.
The ending part, I low-key, like, have, like, drawn out in comic form, so I felt like I was like, I'm just gonna get it in its fucking visceral a little bit.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah.
There were a couple different turns in, like, style that I appreciated because I couldn't pin down where it was going because it started off very like creep show, very like Tales from the Dark Side, like two buddies hanging out, just talking.
Just the goofing, because that's like the intro, like comedic.
It's always the setting of the tone,
setting.
The context, and then when we get to the park, it turns into like Smiling Man territory, and then it hits that like reptile brain part of your mind where like we've talked about this before, how like when you were younger, or even if you still do it, like when you go downstairs in the middle of the night to get like a snack and you have to turn off the light and run back to your room, or else the night people will get you. Like
I was honestly like mentally writing that part as well, was thinking like, yes, the initial movie, but the initial short, I can't remember the guy that made it, but Lights Out, right?
Yeah, Lights Out, yeah.
That's just like the vibes, even if there's like nothing there, it just like feels like there's something there, and you're just like, yeah.
1000%.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, is there any other like inspiration that you want to tell us about? Like, did this actually happen to you, or is this just like, is this a part of your, like you're just kind of dialing into the carnal fear of someone going through a situation like this and how it just kind of escalates?
I mean, it's also like I'm not gonna lie, like how do you would say this? Like being from New York. You know, you walk through some sketchy parts.
I was gonna say, I wasn't sure if you were gonna be like, yeah, this is real. We've all been there. We've been to a place.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a common relation moment too. Like it's like everybody's been, I don't know, unless you're like, no, I'm too fucking cool to be. No, bitch, you're afraid of the dark. Shut the fuck up. Like you go to a certain place under a certain like mental mood, you know, too, like anything's gonna be creepy, even if you're like, oh, I'm so fucking badass. Like, no, brother.
It's no matter what kind of like, no matter what kind of fucking face you put on, there's there's this part of your mind that reminds you of the fact that you're mortal and the fact that there are things out there that you don't know and don't understand. And it just starts to kind of eat away at your sanity. You know, you know you've done this walk a million other times. You know that you're fine, but then you start to think like,
it's the pretense.
Well, what if a dude just kind of jumped out of the shadows and shanked me?
Yeah, I'd be fucking fucked, bro.
I'd be dead.
Yeah. So let's run.
Exactly.
Let's jog a little bit.
I'm gonna walk faster. Yeah.
Yeah, but there. I mean, I don't know. There's definitely like I definitely. With a lot of other things that I'm doing, like, because I am side writing stories for graphic novel form, I like to like get like the carnal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the you're like, I'm not afraid of that. But like, nah, bro, we all know you are.
they're tropes.
Your
for
monkey
a
brain says scanning the darkness for faces, doesn't see faces, hears sound. I'm scared. You know.
Correct. That's a formula that exists.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what I like the most about the story is just the fact that it took such a hard fucking psychological / Lovecraftian turn in the last
I definitely
moment. That was like some SCP liminal type shit where this guy just breaks down his entire reality. At some point when walking through the park, he was just fucking got. And
like
And
yeah,
his
it's like
entire
by like
life just
something
changed.
unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I thought just like jumping around would be fun for the format too. I just like already
1000%,
like
because you can't predict where anything is going.
but I just like absolutely love anthologies too. And I just like anything that like kind of jumps around a little bit, like it just keeps my attention a little bit more. Maybe it's
I
like,
think
while
that
I'm writing it,
that
too.
feeds to you, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
You write what you know, and you write what you're interested in. So I definitely feel you.
I was like, and like each situation has to give different vibes. Like it can't give the same chuckling.
Oh, you hit
chuckly
5
vibes
different
in the
types
beginning
of
that you can-
fears. Yeah.
Yeah. I try to shotgun it.
How did you? Well, you certainly did. How did you feel
Whether that's
writing
good or
it?
bad. Honestly, I just like, I don't know, I just kind of like went at it because I feel like I was thinking about this when I started writing too. I generally don't like, I don't know. It's like doing a drawing. You kind of like know the basis of what you want, so you just kind of like go for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really just wanted to start with a local story because I also love like urban myths, and
Urban
shit
legends.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
and just like stupid little.
there's an
tales that
element
could just
of,
get
like-
taken out of context so easily.
There's an element of what I know you like in what you did here. Like, I mean, like I'm going back to like
just
some
like
of our first episodes.
I just like every
I'm
Like,
going
these are
back to
things I
some
like.
of our first episodes where we've recorded together, where you even showed me the follow the arrows.
Oh yeah, that is true.
story.
That is very, very
And it's
systematic
like-
with this as well.
It's like you hit similar vibes, like with the setting of tone, with just a kind of like, especially with the question like, did you know about this park? And it's like, no, tell me more.
Yeah, and I liked because I always
awaits
feel
me?
like I think the hardest thing that I like had trouble with the beginning, and then I just kind of like winged it. I was like, nah, fuck it, we're just like gonna throw into a bar. Like we're not even gonna, because I kind of like hate things that like just hold your hand like hell like too much,
Oh yeah,
And you're just
No.
like, well, what the fuck is? Oh,
definitely
I don't
didn't
need to
hold my
know
hand for this one. I was guessing
Jerry's
literally the
sister.
entire time.
yeah, cool. Okay, good. But
No.
for good or bad?
No, for good. For good.
Okay, cool.
No, I think there's a lot of good stuff here. I think if I had a constructive criticism, it's just a fine tune,
Oh, yeah.
on grammar
Oh, yeah.
and word choice.
What do you mean?
There's an no.
No, that's a fact. No, that's like an
But
actual fact.
It's
I
one
was,
of the
like,
only things I find
rereading, I was
myself
like, oh,
saying
fuck.
to a lot of people here, especially someone like Frowns. I know that they wrote these, they sat down and they were very critical of themselves in their process, that they're not even seeing the little things
it's funny
anymore.
because I literally like scanned this over earlier today and I was like, oh yeah, fucking Gucci, I'm fucking, it's like 100% dude. And then like, as we're reading, I'm like, oh fuck, bro, I didn't. That's like one word.
And I really
what does that
just
even
mean
say?
in like tense of forms, tense of words.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's something that's really hard for people to like master. Like even myself, I'm reminded like, fuck, what
Yeah, like,
tense
you're
am I
not the-
writing?
you're
in?
not the
Did this
character.
happen
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is this
yeah.
happening?
Dude, especially
am I
when you're
saying
fucking, like,
is this
on a
now or
roll
did
for, like,
this
a minute?
then? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, especially when you're on a roll for a minute, I literally, because I obviously asked Hannah to read this over for me. She was like, bro, you have so many tenses. I was like, shut up. I'm so
Past,
sorry.
present,
It's like,
future.
I, he, them. Yeah, I'm just like,
To a point though, in your defense, it feeds into the narrative because this person
Yeah.
very much slowly starts to realize that things are not what they seem.
Yeah,
So
but
it's-
nearing the end, I kind of
it's
wanted
very
to,
hard
like,
to be like, okay, did this happen? Is it happening? Or is this
Yeah.
person witnessing something,
definitely nearing the end, I like really was like, when I was like typing out shit about the monster and shit, I like definitely just kept switching to I because I was just like fucking in it. And I was like, maybe I should just keep those. Like, I don't know.
I think the feeling of being watched is kind of the most prevalent in the entire story. So I definitely pick up on that.
Yeah, but I was debating. There was definitely a lot of correction back and forth.
No, hey, none of us are fucking masters at what we're doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
asked you guys to
But it was
write a
definitely fun to
story. You
write.
wrote a story. You know, like I'm not.
If
I'm
anything-
never gonna tell someone that they needed, like, that they did a bad job. Like, I think the question here is this a competent story? Yes. Can it use a stand of fine tuning by someone more experienced than either of us? Yes. Also yes. But like, that's not what we're here for either. You know,
yeah. I was say
the standard is creepypasta. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like you belong. You know.
I feel like it's so stupid, but I feel like also like I feel like it's like on point to be like, and then the ran to the it's what it says, man.
And I'm
like,
not even really saying
yeah.
that, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It
But
is
it's
a
just
side
like
of it.
it's uncanny. We've definitely read stories prior that it's just like
I don't think
it was
he's
like, what
going to
the
be
fuck
on
is
this
even happening?
episode, but I already read Sofa King's story.
Okay.
And he just wrote a fucking run-on sentence of a troll pasta, like a
actually really
7-page
funny.
fucking run-on
I actually really
sentence.
love-
It is so good.
I didn't have time, but I was gonna like write just like a stupid tiny little like troll, and I was like, nah. I just didn't have enough time for it, but
Well, you can always
definitely
come
a
back
thought
to
of
the
that.
show and have me
Yeah,
read
yeah.
something fucking stupid. The invitation is out there.
And then who was phone?
Exactly. I made that joke a long time ago that I was gonna write like a really long, like 20 to 30 page story, and it would all just end on the who was phone joke.
You're like, no.
Just to see what someone would think about having wasted
Fucking
that much of
troll
their
yourself.
time reading that. And it's really funny
God
that I
fucking
forgot
damn it.
about that now that I'm done with my 4 stories, but I can see which one I would have ended that way.
Honestly, I don't know.
Just go back, just
for,
scrap
like,
all of it, just go back
No,
and
like
do
for
that.
like a while, I kind of want to do the same thing. I just want to make like stupid little like. It's like fucking like 2-sentence horror kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Just make
I
a little
like those
paragraph,
too.
And then just end it with just who was phone. Just like fucking absolutely just stupid for no reason. Be like, well, I didn't waste too much of my time, but that was a minor inconvenience. And I was like, it was kind of creepy, I guess.
All right, man. Well, that was fun. Thank you for sharing that with me. Any final thoughts or any final messages you would like to share with our audience?
Shoot ropes and dream big, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought you were gonna like give your Twitch or your YouTube a shout out or something, and the first thing out of your mouth is shoot ropes.
I guess like look me up on stuff with like Glitch Blob. I guess.
Yeah, just literally find at Glitch Blob
Yeah,
TV on
yeah.
Twitch, you know, or for
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Glitch
Or,
Blob
like,
on YouTube.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's like a Google and stuff that you can Google stuff on.
Yeah, fucking Google it.
Yeah, just fucking, bro, I fucking Googled it, dude.
Google me, bitch.
Bro, I fucking Googled it, dude.
Okay, I am very happy to be here with my next guest on this wonderful episode, or possibly my first guest. I don't know where you're gonna land just yet. I know you would kind of hate me if I put you up first, wouldn't you?
Not at all. I think that it's gonna
Get it out of the
it's
way.
gonna set the bar low, and then everybody else is we're gonna really appreciate it. I'm telling you.
Very, very good. Very cool. No, I have a feeling that you wrote something that is more than competent and you're just being hard on yourself. Seriously.
Yeah.
Mental exercise.
Mhm.
Think of the shittiest thing I've read on this podcast.
I don't think it's the shittiest thing that's ever going to be on this podcast.
Okay.
But I don't think
Set the
anybody's
bar.
going to be putting up for any awards. Let's just say that.
All right. Okay. No, we'll get into it and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll feel it out. But I am, of course, here with Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
And you wrote a longer story than some other people wrote. Like you're in the mid tier.
Okay.
And you wrote a story called The Walking Stick.
I did.
And before we even started recording, you said that it's semi-autobiographical.
It's semi-autobiographical. My wife and I recently took a trip to Colorado, and a lot of what happened at the beginning of this story actually
happened.
happened.
I love that, actually.
And then as I was walking through, I was like, talking to her. I was like, well, what about this? What if this happened? Could you imagine if this
You were
happened?
bouncing terrible things off of her.
Correct, I was.
And she was saying, why the fuck are you doing this when these things could very much so happen?
She was so in love with her surroundings that she could care less what I was talking about, honestly.
See, that's different from me and my beloved. I feel like if I were to immediately just start being like, what if we died?
Yeah.
What if we died right here?
Yeah.
She would be like, why are you doing this? Why are you bringing me here? Why are you taking me to this level? I was having a good time until you said something.
Yeah, no, she didn't really. I mean, it's not that
Didn't give a shit.
It's not that she didn't give a shit, but like there was no ruining her mood. This was her, as you'll hear in the story, this was her dream trip, and so she was just there. Yeah.
And so that was the inspiration. Was you physically went somewhere and you dealt with something, and it made you want to put pen to paper and just run with it.
Literally started another story, went on this trip. This all happened. I said, "No, I'm writing this. It's."
Give me the like elevator pitch of the first story you wrote, just so I can try to mentally wrap my head around it.
Elevator pitch of the first story I wrote was a guy drinking in his study because he found out his first love had recently passed away.
Okay.
A lot of trauma in their relationship, a lot of everything that goes on. Reminiscing. Nostalgia. And he knows that bad shit happened. And basically the bottom line is she put a little witchcraft curse on him throughout his entire life. And
does he start to pick up on it as he thinks back? Or
he absolutely knows. He absolutely knows. By the time of their last, he knows what happened. He knows that she did some shit to him that really fucked up his life.
So it gets more into the investigation side.
Yeah, it's all flashback. Like it starts out here and it's just basically him reminiscing about their relationship and everything, and then it has a fun little ending.
And you think you might finish that at some point and bring it back to the show?
I definitely will at some point. It
wasn't something that you could finish in time that you wanted to let breathe.
Well, it's very much, my writing skills are very, very rusty. I haven't written anything in probably 20 years. I used to write all the time. It's been 20 years. So I had this scene and this scene and this scene, and I knew how it ended. My struggle was getting it from here to here. To here. What's the connective tissue? I was struggling with finding it, and then this happened, and
so
I had less of a struggle.
You had 4 scenes, but you couldn't link them together.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that is tough. I was there with my second story with Mark Rooster that I read. Like, I remember getting myself into a corner and saying how physically, like literally, my character was in a corner, and I said, how do I get him out of that? And I said, and it took me a little bit to be like, fuck, that's what I do. Yeah. And like, it took time for me to be like out of that same corner. So I get it. I mean, you really just need the time and the headspace to kind of give it, like I said, that breathing room to actually organically get from A to B, then B to C, then C to D. Yeah. I would say the story I'm going to read with you is definitely not that structure.
Right.
It's funny because I feel like what you just described, your elevator pitch for your original story, is kind of a little bit like what I actually did write for my first story, which is someone who's in their adulthood thinking back to their childhood.
Gotcha.
And it's 3 or 4 sequences that they had lived through up to the present day. Mm-hmm. And there is no, like, I wouldn't say it rises in any sort of way. It's more so just a guy just like saying, like, this is what's happening and this is what happened before. And then it just ends. There is no structure to it. So even if you get really experimental with it, even if you just say, like, these are the thoughts, these are the ramblings of an older man who's just trying to put puzzle pieces together, and then it ends.
Right.
Sometimes you don't have to link A to B. Sometimes you just say fuck it and skip to D.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're not all Stephen King.
I know, I want to be so bad.
We need to take a step back. If there's one thing I realized, especially with my first story, is that I am not Stephen King. And no matter how much I would love to be or hate to be in many different ways, I am far removed from what I think is the godlyhood of extraordinarily talented writing.
Oh.
But I think everyone has the ability to have like instances or touches of really great moments.
Right.
And I feel like this entire experience, and I'm whether or not this was the first time I've said this on this episode or the last time I've said this on this episode, I've been extraordinarily surprised by the quality of the stuff that people have brought me thus far. And I really do just hope this is not the last time all of these talented people write.
Right.
Or even come to me with it, because I would feel blessed if anyone came to me and said, let's read this on your show. But I'd even more so just say, I'd love to just, even off the air, I would love to just read something and bounce stuff off with people just because it's something I love.
Well, you know how I hold you in a very high regard as a creative individual. You know this.
I do. I don't know why.
because I just think you have a very brilliant mind, and I just think that you're very talented in a lot of ways. And so, if this show existed or not, if there was one person I was good at sending something I wrote to, it would be you. A, I know you're going to be honest. That's number one.
Yeah,
you're going to be honest. But I just respect your insight into the creative process and all those types of things. So, like, show or not, I would send it to you.
I appreciate
when I finish this story, I'm going to send it to you. With no motive of being on the show.
This isn't the first time we've done something, creative or interesting together. You've been a part of a lot of my experimental, like, side projects in a lot of ways, and you've been a guinea pig for a lot of the stuff that I enjoy,
right.
And you enjoy it, and I always look for enthusiastic people that are down to do these things. Someone like Mark Rooster hides his enthusiasm to do these things just a little bit, but I know on the inside he's smiling, even though on the outside he looks probably stoned and confused.
That's pretty much his go-to.
But no, I mean, Deputy Dewey said something very similar, which is just like, he doesn't write as much as he used to. He would love to get back into doing it. He would love to use this as an excuse to continue doing it. He has the time to do it. He wants to do more of it. I just think, like, this doesn't have to be the spot where people end. This also doesn't have to be the launching pad for anyone. Right. I just think, and I'm saying this to people who are listening too, because I think if Kitty, which is at this point might even be the last episode, so sorry I'm bringing this up on the first one. The story she wrote was amazing, and it surprised the shit out of me. And that's someone I did not know before this show existed. This is someone I met through the show, and it's like I had no idea. Like, greatness can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
And as my story about that I read with Mark Rooster, anyone can cook is the point I'm trying to make here. And I just think, like, that'll be a joke. That'll come back later. Just listen to 2 or 3 episodes from now. It'll come back. You'll understand what I mean there. I'm winking at Ratatouille in italics. But the point is, anyone can cook. And I think that if you give it the tender love and care to, like, put into it, then you wouldn't be surprised when something good comes out of it.
Right.
And, like, the fact that anyone can write means that anyone should write. And this is like a message to anyone who's even thinking about, like, I just did a fan interview with someone who signed up for the Patreon, which is something I'm trying to do more of. And it's like, any of these people can come to me at any point and say, I found this, I did this, I wrote this, and I'd be happy to give them a platform.
Yeah. Because
that's what I think is the most interesting part of this show is the ability that these things can come from anywhere. Whether or not they're the most horrifying thing I've ever read in my life doesn't really matter to me. Every once in a while you get a Baraska, every once in a while you get a left-right game, and they blow you out of the water in different regards. But then, every once in a while, you get a Jeff the Killer. You have a good laugh. You have a good laugh, But anyway, you feel like you're lowering the bar here, and I'm going to be happy to read yours with you. The main question I have, and it can go any way you want it to, is, do you want to read your story to me?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of would.
Yeah. Then that's what we're going to do, because I think something I bring up a lot on the show, it's like that choice I give people. So far, everyone has wanted to read to me. They don't. They write with their own voice. I want to hear what their voice sounds like when they say it. I'm giving the people the opportunity to perform it as they have imagined it. Right. So you're going to read your story to me. I'm going to read my story to you, and that's how we're going to do it.
I love that.
So I'm now going to hand it off to Royale with cheese, unless you got anything to say or do before we hop in.
Let's get into it, man.
Okay. I'm going to hand over the reins to Royale with cheese. I'm very excited to hear the walking stick.
You told me only one hike, Mike said, hearing the faint whine in his own voice and instantly hating it. It's fine. Sam's tone was clipped, her smile more like a grimace. We can head back to the Airbnb and get ready for dinner. I don't care. Oh, what you do, Mike thought. He knew this was her dream trip. He also knew his arthritic knees were still paying for yesterday's adventure. He wasn't sure they could take another beating. Still, who knew when they'd get back to Colorado? They'd pinched and scraped for months just to make this one happen. Mike put the car in park and pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Samantha asked, suspicion in her voice. Just give me a second. He typed into Google, easy hiking trails near Grand Lake, Colorado. He scrolled through the results, and there it was, third one down. The Continental Divide Trail. Super easy, according to the blurb, with scenic views of Grand Lake. Perfect. He slid the phone back into its cradle, shifted into reverse, and backed out. The house is the other way, Mike. Sam's annoyance sharpened her words. You really are the most directionally challenged person I've ever met. Relax, Sammy. We're taking a detour.
How much of this is real conversation?
100% real.
I'm seeing you in it. I'm hearing it.
100% real.
I love it.
Told you, semi-autobiographical. Relax, Sammy. We're taking a detour. Where to? I'm not letting my cranky body ruin your trip, especially since we've built in so many things for me. I found a trail I think I can handle, so one more hike it is. He forced the enthusiasm, hoping it sounded more convincing than it felt. You really do love me, Sam lunged over, arms around him, planting an exaggerated kiss on his cheek. The car swerved. Geez, Sammy, glad you're excited, but maybe try not to kill us before we get there. Let the trail do that. Babe, we don't have to, she said, but her voice was playful. She already knew there was no talking him out of it. Once Mike had an idea in his head, it stuck. Oh, we're going. Nothing a dip in the hot tub won't cure. He lied without hesitation. His knees had been through 3 ACL constructions and countless cleanouts. The orthopedist had told him last year he had the knees of a 75-year-old. Not exactly great news when you're 45.
Semi-autobiographical.
Sam settled back.
I've seen this in person, though.
Okay.
I've seen the knees at work.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Sam settled back, satisfied. She loved Mike more than anything and knew he'd do anything for her. She quietly admitted to herself she used that to her advantage on more than one occasion. So where are we going? Continental Divide Trail. Google swears it's easy. You okay with that? Sounds great. I can't wait. The last half mile passed in silence. Sam soaking in the lake views, Mike quietly dreading the feel of his knee braces biting into his skin. The trailhead parking lot was packed. Dozens of people out commuting with nature. Looks like we aren't the only ones enjoying the beautiful weather, Mike said aloud, masking his disappointment. I know, isn't it great? Sam practically bounced in her seat. Mike reached for the door handle, but Sam stopped him with a bottle of orange liquid. Here, drink this before we go. He eyed it. What is it? It won't kill you, Mike. It's my pre-workout drink. It'll give you a serious energy boost. With a resigned sigh, he downed it in 3 big gulps. Oh, that's terrible. You drink this by choice? Only on gym days, she hopped out. While Sam replenished the water supply in their backpack, Mike slid on his knee braces and switched into hiking shoes. He shouldered the pack, locked the car, and turned towards the trail entrance, only to freeze. Whoa, Google said this was easy. From here, the trail shot upward in a steep incline. Stop being a baby. I'm sure it flattens out. Let's hope. He pointed toward a large map board. Let's see what we're in for. The board was divided. Flyers and safety warnings on one side, a map on the other. Only the Continental Divide Trail section was missing. Torn out somehow, even though the glass over it was still intact. That's just great, Mike muttered. I think Google said it's a loop. I'll check the map. His phone showed no service. Perfect. It's an adventure, babe. Sam took his hand. You'll be fine. He pulled her closer, kissed her neck. This better pay off tonight. She laughed and shoved him away. It's a family area. But tonight might be your lucky night. Mike grinned and followed her to the start of the path. It was beautiful here. Quiet, green, and deceptively peaceful. As he took the first step towards what he knew would be a long day, something caught his eye. Hey, what's this? Leaning against a post was a walking stick. It looked ordinary at first glance, but when he picked it up, he realized it was anything but. Despite the rough look, it was smooth to the touch. Strange marks covered its length. Maybe carvings, maybe natural grooves. And it was light. Lighter than it looked. It really is your lucky day, babe, Sam called. Somebody must have known a rickety old man was coming. Clearly it belongs to someone. He tested it against the ground. Strong. Perfect height. Michael, there's nobody here. Clearly they left it for the next person. Paying it forward, if you will. Bring it or don't, but I'd like to get going. You're probably right. He started to lean it back against the post, then hesitated. What the hell? He took it with him. The climb lasted only 90 seconds before the path leveled. See, Sam said, waiting at the top. Yeah. He was breathing hard, leaning on his prize. This thin air is messing with me. You're doing great. Just let me know if you need to stop and catch your breath. Seriously, it's all good. They fell into single file, Sam in the lead. The trail was wide and flat. Maybe this won't be so bad, he thought. They passed other hikers as they went. They all nodded and made pleasantries. Everyone is so nice, Sam noted. Mike grunted his agreement and plodded on. They rounded a bend and came to a fork. There's no sign, Sam noted. How do we know which is our trail? Left heads up the mountain, right stays by the water. Guess which one's easier on my busted legs? Sam grinned. I love the water. Let's go. They followed the right path. Sam chattering about how much she loved Colorado, Mike happily listening. The thin air wasn't bothering him anymore. He also realized that the constant knee pain he had become accustomed to was almost completely gone. I think that drink you gave me is kicking in, he said. I feel good, energized. And the stick, it's taking all the pressure off my knees. I'm telling you, it's this place. Maybe it was. 10 minutes later, a narrow side path led toward the lake's edge. Sam took it eagerly. A set of wooden steps ended at the water. It looked unsafe to Mike, but Sam didn't seem to notice. As she stepped on the top step, it crumbled under her foot. Mike caught her just in time. You okay? I'm fine. Didn't expect that. My hero, she smiled. Let's follow this one, see where it goes. You're the boss, he mumbled. 100 feet in, they hit a barricade. Cut logs stacked across the trail, painted with 3 strange symbols. One was a triangle with a straight line running through it. Another looked like a cross, but with a circle perched on top and a triangle at its base. The third was harder to make out, smudged, like whoever painted it had tried to wipe it away. Mike thought it might have been an eye surrounded by other shapes, but it was too blurred to be sure. All 3 symbols were painted in a red so deep it almost looked wet. Well, that's spooky, Sam said, in a nervous edge under the joke. Looks like we're heading back the way we came. I feel like I've seen these before, Mike murmured, still studying them. Yeah, the Blair Witch Project, Sam said. Come on, Mike, I'm getting bad vibes here. Sure, babe. He draped an arm around her shoulders and steered her back towards the fork. Once there, they turned down their original path. Silence settled in. Mike trying to place where he'd seen those symbols, Sam forcing herself to focus on the scenery. The further they went, the more she noticed how many trees had been cut down along the trail. Why do you think they cleared all of these? She asked. Wildfire prevention, Mike said. Slows the spread. Really? How do you know that? I'm a fountain of useless information. She smiled over her shoulder. Yeah, he really is. The slope started to rise again, the trail underfoot shifting to rock and grit. Sam glanced back to check on him. Normally, even a flat walk could be a gamble for his knees. She told herself if it got much worse, she'd claim she was getting hangry and turn them around. They still had 3 more days in Colorado. She wasn't going to waste them nursing swollen joints. But Mike wasn't limping. In fact, he was moving better than she'd seen in years, using the walking stick more out of habit than need, sidestepping roots and rocks with almost grace. How you doing, babe? Great, babe. You're handling this like a champ. I'm so proud of you. I'll probably pay for it later, but right now I feel like I could hike all day. And he meant it. His legs hadn't felt this good in 8 years. That drink's magic in a bottle. I'm buying a year's supply when we get home, she laughed. It was good to see him like this again. The incline grew steeper until the trail went sharply ahead, leveling out beyond. Let's take a water break up here, Sam decided. You may have found the fountain of youth, but I still need a breather. At the top, Mike set the stick aside, pulled off the pack, and handed her a water bottle. He took his own and sat in a boulder, drinking deep, while watching her do the same. His gaze traced the lines of her legs, strong, toned. How'd she end up with a ton of shit like me? The thought was old, familiar, unwelcome. He shook it off the way his therapist had taught him, capped the bottle, and stowed it. You ready to roll? Look at you, eager beaver, she teased. She tossed him her bottle, which he caught and packed away. As he stood, a sharp pain lanced under his left kneecap, and he dropped back down. God damn it, he barked. Oh no, which knee? Sam was already at his side. Left. Should have known better. Hand me the stick, I can brace myself up with it. She reached for it, but her fingers lingered on the smooth surface. It feels nice. The thought was unbidden, oddly warm. Samantha, the stick, please. There was an edge in his voice. She blinked, handed it over. You know, she said, slowly, those symbols, you've seen them before because this thing's covered in them. Mike looked. She was right. The carvings ran the length of the stick. Not just the triangle, the cross, and the smeared eye from before, but dozens more, some familiar, some alien. In the center, a single large eye stared back, clear and deliberate. For a moment, he had the unsettling sense that it wasn't carved at all, but alive, regarding him in return. I suddenly don't like that thing anymore, Sam said quietly. Maybe toss it? Can't. If my knees act up, I need it. Even as he spoke, the pain was already fading. He rose easily. See? Good as new. Let's go. Stubborn, she muttered, falling in behind him. She wasn't used to him leading. As long as she'd known him, he'd been big. Not fat, but solid. As his knees deteriorated, he became less active, heavier. He was now pushing 300 pounds. His bad knees had drained his energy, and the activity she loved became things she did alone. She hated that. She hated alone. Seeing him move like this was unexpected. When we get back, her thought broke off as she nearly walked into his back. The trail ahead was nothing but jagged stone, a 15-foot stretch of uneven rock with no obvious footholds. Well, that's our turnaround point, she said. No, we can get across. How? There's something in his voice now, a low intensity she didn't like. There's a pattern, he said, pointing. Bigger rocks on each side, you hop between them, almost like it was set up that way. Before she could argue, he stepped on the first rock, balancing with the stick, then hopped left, right, left, across the formation in a fluid rhythm that didn't belong to a man with knees like his. He landed lightly on the other side. Did you see that? His grin was wide, almost boyish. Yeah. She couldn't hide her shock. There were days he could barely get off the couch, and now this? Something's not right. Your turn. She hesitated, then followed. The pattern was there, and with each hop she felt surer, until the last. The final rock shifted under her, throwing her sideways. She hit hard, left arm taking the brunt, air punching out of her lungs. Mike was at her side in seconds, the stick forgotten. Sammy, are you okay? Can't breathe, she rasped. He hauled her upright. Ow! The word came out, a gasp. Sorry, just wanted you off the rocks. He carried her to level ground. As he lowered her, his right knee popped painfully, and he cried out, both of them tumbling to the ground. They lay there a moment, Sam gulping air, Mike flexing his knee. When she could breathe again, Sam sat up, moving her left arm gingerly. Sore, but not broken. Her shin, though, was bleeding pretty heavily. A deep gash ran down the bone. Shoot, she muttered. You okay? Mike asked, still probing his own knee. I think so. You? I'm fine, just one of those pops. He turned toward her. That was a nasty spill. She motioned towards her shin. This seems to be the worst of it. At least we brought the first aid kit. He dug into the pack, tossed her a water bottle, and pulled out supplies. Scoot over. Mike gently moved her leg into his lap. This is gonna sting, he warned, ripping open 4 alcohol wipes. He cleaned the wound while she winced. When it was done, he wrapped it snug in gauze and an ace bandage. Can you stand? I think so. She got to her feet, a brief wave of dizziness passing over her. She finished her water, tossed the bottle back. Let's see how this goes, Mike said, leveraging himself up. A sharp twinge flared under his kneecap. Not the worst, but bad enough to promise trouble. This sucks. Neither of us can get back over those rocks, Sam said. I'm sorry. It didn't look that bad. I just felt like I had to cross it. It's fine. We just don't know how long this loop is. And now we're both limping. We're walking wounded, he said with a wry smile. That's us, she replied, matching it. Though her eyes kept flicking to the stick lying in the dirt. Its carved eye now half covered in dust, like it was bleeding. Let's get going. Sooner begun, sooner done. Mike bent to grab the pack and the walking stick. Here, he said, holding it out. Why don't you take a turn at this? Sam reached for it, but as her fingers brushed the wood, Mike felt a sudden, irrational urge to yank it back. It's mine. For a moment, they both held on, eyes locked. In Mike's, Sam saw something new. Not irritation, not the petty anger they sometimes shared in arguments. This was sharper, colder. A flash of real anger that made her pulse skip. Then it was gone. He let go, gave her a half smile, and swung the pack onto his shoulders. After you. She set off, leaning on the stick, her limp barely noticeable. Mike followed, knees throbbing, silently regretting giving it up. They walked in silence for 10 minutes until he noticed she was moving even better. You're not limping anymore, he said. No, I hadn't noticed. I have. You're doing great. His own joints were grinding. He wanted the stick back. Badly. He tapped her shoulder. She flinched, almost imperceptibly, but enough to make him pause. What was that? Nothing. I'm fine. She didn't slow. Her hand tightened on the stick, strides lengthening, chin lifting. She was setting the pace now without realizing it. There was something in the way she carried herself, shoulders squared, almost commanding. It made him uneasy. They rounded a bend and saw another hiker, an older man with a long beard and sun-cracked skin. The first person they'd seen in what felt like hours. He nodded politely, but when his gaze fell on the stick in Sam's hand, he froze. Where did you find that? He asked. Sam and Mike exchanged a glance. At the trailhead, leaning against a post. Why? The man stepped closer, voice dropping. That stick doesn't belong on this trail. Mike frowned. What do you mean? You ever hear of trail gifts? Some are harmless, some, he shook his head. Some are marked. That one's old magic. Trail witchery. You take it, you carry more than weight. Sam's grip loosened, then tightened again. We're fine, she said quickly. The man studied her, then Mike. Be careful. Magic always asks for something in return. And just like that, he walked on. What the hell was that? Sam muttered. Mike didn't answer. His knees were howling now. He wanted the stick. He needed it. Sam, he said, holding out his hand. She stepped back. You gave it to me. I need it. Yeah, but no. Just like you did. There was something in her eyes, something more than stubbornness, a glint that reminded him of the carved eye on the stick. He forced a nod. Okay, let's just get out of here. The sky had gone dull gray. Mike thought he felt a raindrop as the trees seemed to knit tighter overhead, turning the trail into a tunnel. Magic, he thought, replaying the man's word. What was so magical about a stick? He was still turning it over in his mind when his foot caught a rock. He stumbled, arms flailing, and landed hard on his right knee. Pain roared through him. Sam spun around. Oh my God, are you okay? Yeah, just jammed it. Wasn't looking where I was going. She held out her free hand, but not the stick. No, I got it. He rolled to his stomach, pushed to a squat, then stood, breathing through the pain. Let's keep moving. You sure you don't need a minute? She asked. What I need is to be back in the car. His irritation was starting to seep through. She nodded and started forward. Mike watched her go, still holding the stick without using it. How nice of her to offer, he thought bitterly. 2 steps later, a thought hit him like ice water. Are you still in pain? She stopped. No, not even a little. Mike frowned. She'd taken a brutal fall, yet she was moving like nothing had happened. She turned and looked at him. Her eyes were wide. Your knees, she said. They were fine earlier. Better than fine. We were hopping rocks. They're killing you now, aren't they? Yes. Pain lanced under his kneecaps as if to prove it. You know they are. The silence between them turned heavy. Sam, take off your bandage. I don't want to. Please. She sighed and unwrapped the bandage and pulled away the gauze. The skin was only faintly pink. No blood, no wound. It's healing us, Mike whispered. They both looked at the stick. Neither spoke. The forest seemed to lean in. Take it, she said. I don't want it anymore. His hands trembled as he took hold of it. The carvings seemed deeper now, and they were moving. That central eye rolled to meet his gaze. He yelped and dropped it. Did you see that? Sam looked. It's just a stick, right, Mike? Leave it. Can we? His voice was sharp, almost frantic. She stepped close, taking his hands. We can. One step at a time. Let's go. He followed, but when they rounded the next bend, there it was, lying in the middle of the trail, as if it had been waiting. This is so fucked up, Sam said. I was thinking about it, I heard, and then it was just here. Me too. Sammy, I think we need it, just to get back. Then we toss it. Magic always asks for something in return, she said. I'll write it a check, he replied, and they both laughed. Too loudly, too quickly. Mike picked it up. Relief flooded him instantly. We take turns, he said. She nodded. They passed it back and forth every 5 minutes. The trail finally began to slope downward. In the distance, they caught a glimpse of a parking lot full of cars. It was like an oasis in the desert. Oh, thank God, Sam breathed. The light was fading fast, the trees crowding closer. Ahead, the trail straightened into a long, narrow corridor. The canopy so thick it was almost dark. Mike glanced upward. Even if the rain came harder, it might never touch the ground. I like this, Mike. It's creepy. Sam's voice trembled, but she looked at him as if begging him to agree. Sooner begun, sooner done. Yeah, I know. Let's just go before it gets too dark. They started forward without realizing they'd drawn close together. The air between the trees was thicker here, the sound of their footsteps swallowed almost instantly. Mike felt it first, a low, steady thrumming from the stick. He looked down. The carvings were alive now, darting across the wood in frantic loops, symbols chasing symbols like fish in a tank. He shut his eyes, willing them to still. When he opened them, they were still moving. I think it's your turn, he said, voice thin. He tried to pass the stick to Sam. I'm good. Sam, please, take it. It's acting up again. They both gripped it, pushing it towards each other, neither willing to fully take it back. That was when a voice, rich and cold, drifted from the tree line. Well, well, isn't this a sweet little hike for the damned? A man in all black melted out of the shadows. His clothes were wrong for the season. Black jeans, boots, a zip-up hoodie. and too clean for the mud and dust of the trail. His skin was pale, almost luminous against the glue. His grin was too wide. Mike instinctively moved in front of Sam. "We don't want any trouble." The man laughed now, mocking. "Oh, but it seems trouble has found you." He leered at them. "You're lost, walking in circles." From his pocket, he pulled an apple so red it seemed to bleed color into his hand. From the other, a pocket knife. The blade flicked open with a quiet, precise click. He began slicing the apple into perfect crescents.
It's one of those fucking guys that just eats an apple only by knife.
That's it, yeah.
I know a couple guys like that. that's just to tell you off the bat, that's Scotch McGee.
Oh, yeah?
Only eats an apple by knife. His mouth is too good for it, apparently.
I like that.
One asshole.
One asshole. As he ate, his eyes slid to the walking stick. "What a lovely piece of wood," he murmured. His lips, Sam noticed, were the same impossible red as the apple. We found it," Mike stammered. The man's gaze rooted him in place. His face was young, but his eyes were ancient, endless. "What luck!" the man said brightly, sliding another slice between those crimson lips. "Treasure. It's worth more than you know." Sam's stomach turned. His smile. There were too many teeth. Mike tried to speak, to suggest leaving, but the words caught. He looked at Sam for help, but her expression was slack, almost entranced. "Don't let me keep you," the man said. "But watch yourselves. It only gets darker from here." He leaned against a gnarled tree, the bark blackened like old burns. "Perhaps I'll see you at the end of the road." His smile deepened, eyes locking on Sam. He winked. She flinched. He offered her a slice of apple. "No, thank you," she whispered. He popped it into his mouth, chewing slowly. "Suit yourself." Rain began to fall harder. "Off you go," he said, stepping back into the trees, "before you catch pneumonia or some such malady." With that, he faded back into the wood. A wind swept through the forest, polluting the rain. The sky darkened too quickly. Clouds rolled in, thick and low. The drizzle became a steady, bone-deep soak. Colors drained away until the world was gray and brown. Shadows stretched unnaturally far. "We need to get back to the car," Sam said. They turned. The trail was gone. In its place, unfamiliar trees and paths they hadn't seen. Nothing familiar. I don't understand," Mike muttered. "We didn't turn." A low growl rumbled from somewhere in the woods. Sam froze. "You heard that?" "Yeah. Let's move." "Move where? We have no..." The growl came again. Closer. Mike picked a direction. "Cars were to the right, we go to the right." He didn't know if it was true, he just knew he didn't want to see what made that sound. They hurried along a new path. The growl faded, their bodies felt impossibly strong, but their thoughts frayed. With the noise now gone, they slowed their pace. "That was terrifying," Mike said. "No shit." They both laughed too hard. Mike glanced back. The trail behind them was closing in, trees bending towards each other, branches interlocking like fingers. He took Sam's hand and they kept going. Then he stopped. The bear stood in the path ahead. Or it had been a bear. The skin of its face was gone, the skull gleaming in the dim light. One eye socket was empty, the other burned red. Its mouth hung open in a permanent snarl. It rose to its hind legs and roared, a sound like tearing metal. Then it dropped, took one step forward, and stopped. It didn't charge. It didn't move. It watched. Sam searched for an escape. The path behind was gone. Then she saw it, a faint trail through the trees. "This way!" Mike didn't move. His bladder had let go and urine ran down his leg. "Michael! Michael!" She slapped him. His eyes cleared. "I pissed myself." "I don't care." She dragged him down the side path. The bear didn't follow. But something else did. Some things. They were being hunted. Shapes flitted between trees, limbs too long, figures too thin, whispers with no source. "Run," they said. "Come," they said. "Stay. Die." They ran. Mike pulled ahead, guiding her through the slick mud. She stumbled, he caught her. She had the stick tucked under her arm like a jouster at a Renaissance fair. His knees were starting to ache. "Hand me the stick," he shouted as she attempted to grab the stick from her underarm. She fumbled it. She made an awkward stab at catching it. Her fingers grazed the smooth edge, but the stick danced just out of reach. With her attention elsewhere, she did not see the exposed root emerging from the path, seemingly reaching for her. The root entangled her ankle. She lost her footing and went over the edge of a steep slope, vanishing into the rain and mud. The stick tumbled after her. Sam! The bottom of the ravine was not visible from where he stood. Mike searched, but he could not see his wife. He looked frantically for a way down. He found a runoff gully to his left and slid down after her. The fall seemed endless until he landed face first in a pool of muddy water. He pulled himself up like he mucked from his eyes. His knees were screaming at him as he scanned the area around him. He found her sprawled against a large rock, her neck at an impossible angle. Blood ran from her open mouth and mingled with the mud. No. He dropped to his knees beside her. She wasn't breathing. He held her, rocking, screaming into the silent forest until his voice was raw. The woods stayed silent, listening, watching. When he could move again, he laid her gently on the ground and slowly fought his way back to his feet. They had landed in a small clearing. He looked up at the darkening sky. The rain had stopped and the clouds were dissipating. He could see a handful of stars peeking through the dark blanket of dusk. The moon was rising. It was red as blood. He closed his eyes and breathed in deeply. Then he looked down at the empty shell that was once his wife. There, just beyond the reach of her right hand, was the walking stick. Fuck you, he whispered, and bent to pick it up. He looked over the wooden curse in his hands. The eyes stared back at him. He walked. The forest guided him now, the path winding toward something. He saw firelight flicking in the distance. Eventually, the trees parted into a wide clearing. Torches surrounded the perimeter of the space. A throne sat in the center, made of bone and twisted wood, crowned with a bleeding red eye. The man in black sat upon it. Only now, he wasn't a man. His bare chest rippled like black oil. His eyes burned like coal. His teeth were razors, endless. Welcome back, the demon said. And thank you for returning what was mine. The stick flew from Mike's hand into the demon's. You tricked us, Mike said. I offered a gift. You accepted. Gifts require sacrifice. Magic always asks for something in return. He nearly choked on the words. Indeed, Demon smiled. And you have paid in full. He gestured to the edge of the clearing. Sam stood there, cold, breathing, but her eyes were black, bottomless. She's mine now. She remembers you. Isn't that beautiful? She approached, smiling. Mike stood frozen and silent. She brushed the hair from his face, just like she had since their first date. Small whimper escaped his lips. She opened her arms. Mike stepped into them. She folded them into her deep embrace, and darkness swallowed her. Dad, hurry up, Nathan called, darting from the car towards the trailhead. Tom sighed, climbing out. Who thought a 10-year-old was a good hiking club? He grabbed his pack and jogged to catch up. Nathan stood by the big map board. There's no map, he said, irritated. It's fine, buddy. It's a loop. And if we're lucky, we might see a moose. Sweet! Nathan ran towards the start of the trail and stopped short. Dad, check this out! Tom turned to see what his boy was so excited about. Nathan was standing at the trail entrance and holding a stick. The wood appeared smooth and was covered in strange carvings. Perfect size for a 10-year-old. Can I keep it, Dad? Nathan pleaded. Tom looked around, but there was nobody there to claim it. He looked from the stick to his son's big blue eyes. Okay, kiddo, but we put it back once we're done. Thank you! Nathan wrapped his father in a huge hug, then turned and bounded up the trail, his newfound prize punctuating every other step. Tom looked around one last time. It's just a stick. What's the worst that can happen? He chuckled to himself and followed his son up the hill.
Dude, that was awesome. Dude, that was awesome. Right. No, that was fun. That was good. Okay, so first off, fuck you. First off,
What do you mean, fuck me?
First off, honestly, fuck you.
Okay.
No, so much of the dialogue was relatable and competent, and the narrative was fun. It kept going to new places. It was very the way it advanced had me guessing like every step of the way. So first off, fuck you for downplaying the shit out of it. The story is called The Walking Stick. At some point, I just kind of expect the stick to like, I don't know, like fucking absorb them or some shit. You know, the symbols, the eyes, the pieces. Right. But like, we got a man in black in there. Fucking Randall Flagg shows up with some great, shit just hanging out. Just like, point down.
Yeah.
He just shows up. He's used to hanging in deserts. It's not, his MO. But then we get some like Pet Cemetery vibes in there where we're like, maybe you don't ask for help because when you get it, it's not always the help you think you wanted. Right. So these were the vibes. Yeah. And yes, 100% keep the ending tag. Okay. The ending tag supports the fact that this is a cycle. Right. That it continues past the person, past its claiming point. Right. I actually had wondered, the only constructive part is when she fell and snapped her neck, why didn't he try putting the stick back in her hand?
So originally, and this is something that happened when I told you I ran it through AI and then had to rewrite it. Okay. Originally, it was in her.
I'm going to cut that. I don't want people to know. We're going to keep this line. I used AI to check my grammar.
That's what I did. That's what I used it for. And apparently, I'm old, so I'm not good with this AI stuff. So it like changed chunks of my story. So I had to go back and literally get the old one out and rewrite it. Okay. But somewhere in there, it changed on me because she was supposed to have it when I originally wrote it. She had it in her hand, and it didn't. It'll heal you, but it won't. The idea it won't bring you back to life. Yeah. And I did think about when I was rewriting it, like having him put it in her hand. Try.
I think it shows it's literally the only note I have. Yeah. It shows the futile aspect of him being at ends of her being dead, just thinking maybe. Yeah. And that's what I think could be the springboard for him going back into the woods failed. Yeah. Knowing that there's no option left. Because it did strike me as...
I'm only going to take this note, so keep talking.
It did strike me as, well, she's dead. I'm going to walk away now. And that's when I was like, all right, is he not taking her body? Is he just... like, he's in bad shape. I get it. But I wouldn't necessarily leave my wife's body there. I would try to carry it for as long as I could, even if it meant my own detriment.
So there's clearly stuff missing there because in my head it's like he's trying to finish the trail to go get help, but I didn't put that in there.
No, these are literally the only notes that I had, which I feel like. Which it's like parts of it are implied, but it's like you need to physically flesh those parts out. Yeah. And like that's okay. Yeah. It's literally the only notes I have, and they're about stuff you didn't do, which means that the impression is there. Right. The impression is left, which means it was a competent story. No, I thought your writing was fantastic. You had great word choice, good vocabulary, fantastic dialogue. Your dialogue is extraordinarily believable. I just think like there's a commonplace kind of we've had these conversations before. I literally saw you and your wife in my head like bitching at each other, and that was the best part about it, is that it was believable that people can find themselves in these situations. There was so little about it that I was like truly questioning, because so much about it was just like, no, this is what's happening. This is the story you're telling, and this is where it's going. And it had me surprised. There were so many different aspects where I was like, okay, is the bear? That's where I kind of like stopped. I was like, okay, so now that they have the stick, the trail isn't the trail anymore. The trail is kind of taking them for a ride because now it has them. Right. They've figured it out, and now its magic, quote unquote, is playing with them. And I laughed in the middle of the story because I thought one of them would call the stick my precious. I just thought that would be really, really on the nose and not necessary, but it would have made me laugh a bunch. But it was like, it's my stick.
I want it back.
Yeah.
I thought about handing it back for a moment, and then she looked at me like, why the fuck are you taking this from me? And I was like, because it's fucking mine. Fuck you.
Right, yeah.
So that's the aspect of it. It was like,
Yeah.
share the load, the load. You know, that's the aspect I thought of. But there's so much good there. There's so much good there, and you were so hard on yourself, and you told me that it wasn't competent even in the slightest, and here you are. I'm not going to say who, but I've definitely read worse already. So it's like, come on.
Well,
come on, get with it.
You
get with it.
I just, there's things like, I just, like I said,
you're your worst critic. You're your worst enemy. You know, it's just the way it's going to be. There's so much good there that you can see what your strengths are, and the little notes I had were just ideas. It wasn't about anything you did. It was about what you didn't do.
Yeah.
And that's never going to be a sound argument for criticism. It's a suggestion.
Sure.
I'm not saying anything about your quality. Your quality was more than competent. It was fine.
Thanks.
It's like, come on.
Thank you.
Get with the program.
All right. So thank you. Yeah. I mean, I will say this. Reading it out loud
makes you feel better.
And I did like it better.
Let me tell you, every time, so I've been exercising to work my way up to my trip that I just took for my birthday. So the last 3 months, I would try to take a walk up my hill Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Every time I took a walk, I grabbed my phone out and I literally read each of my stories as I walked by hill.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't finish, because some stories were longer than the walk would take, I would come back, I would sit down, I would eat dinner, and I would keep reading it.
Right.
And I would read it out loud.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we do here is about how the word translates from the page to your audio file to a literal podcast. Yeah. So I also think know your audience is one part of it that I don't think people were thinking about when I supported this project, but it's what I thought about while I was supporting this project. A lot of the stories I wrote are dialogue driven, a lot like that one is. Holy shit, does that make it easier to listen to?
Right.
I almost wish I read for Sam so that we could have bounced off.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Story went on, but that's not a part of.
Yeah.
That's not a part of your process, and it's not something worth getting bogged down in. Sure. It's just hindsight. Hindsight is when you write good characters, you want it to sound like two people talking, but you did voices, and that was more than enough to sell.
Yeah.
The interpersonal ideas about it.
It's like, the dialogue is my favorite part of it.
Dialogue's fun.
Because the dialogue is, first of all, it sounds real because it is, a lot of it is real.
I like that.
A lot of that conversation happened. There's a lot of things in there that
Did you find a walking stick?
I did. I have pictures.
Okay. Is it like that?
I obviously exaggerated what it was. It wasn't covered in.
I would have thought that would have been crazy if you did. Though.
No. But
you found a stick.
I found a stick.
Thought about it.
I cranky knees. I'm walking with it, and I was like, "Hey, what if this stick healed me? What if it made me feel good?"
The Stephen King Family Guy thing. It's what if this lamp was haunted?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Haunted lamp.
And
Stephen, put the lamp down.
Yeah. But things like the trail not being marked, so we didn't know if we were taking the right trail. That happened. It did.
I hate that.
Did
you find a bear?
We did not find a bear.
Good. Because you'd be dead.
The rocky section, while exaggerated, was real.
Did she fall?
She did not fall.
Okay, so she didn't eat shit.
She did not eat shit.
Cool. I would have felt bad.
The tripping over
pen to paper about her eating shit.
The tripping over a rock and almost going down a route, that did happen.
That did happen.
But she didn't obviously eat shit and go down the side.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that story about while I was on a business trip and I got off of a golf cart and they're like, okay, this property's not done being built yet. You got to be careful going down this hill. And I said, I'll be fine. And I literally took one step off the cart and fucking tumbled down like Tommy Boy. Just literally, what is it? Black Sheep. Which one of my Chris Farley am I thinking of? Is it Tommy Boy? Or just fucking
I believe it is Tommy Boy. Yes.
Down the fucking hill.
I believe
that was me. I literally went ass over tea kettle down a fucking hill.
Yeah.
All all of these workers at this all-inclusive, this brand new property in Punta Cana, they were just like, are you okay? You're not going to sue us, are you? And I was like, no, it's my fucking fault. I'm the dumb one. And my leg is bleeding, and they're like, do you need anything? I was like, no, I'm going to go in the pool. It'll stabilize. It'll be great.
It will.
And it was. I went on the slides. Our previous manager was there, and she was looking at my knee. She was like, you're bleeding. I was like, I know. And I jumped in the pool. It was fun. Anyway, that was like my famous last words. I'll be fine. I literally turned and ate shit down a hill. If I had done it like a minute sooner, I love when fate like has these moments where it's like, if I had fallen a minute sooner, this guy was bringing a giant, one of those big silver like cabinets full of like dinner plates and silverware and stuff. He was dragging it to the bar across the property. It was right at the bottom of that hill, and he had just gotten it out of the way when I tumbled down there. And so if I had fallen even a minute sooner, I would have collided with that fucking thing and knocked it over. It would have gone down, man. It would have been so funny.
But yeah, even the little detour down and then coming to an endpoint because there was just a stack of logs. That happened. There weren't symbols on it.
Your knees were hurting? Was that?
Oh, my knees were fucking killing me all the time. Yeah.
I didn't talk about it, but we played when I went on a trip with Royale and his son to Vegas. We did a VR of Squid Games. Or maybe we did talk about it on that episode.
We did. We briefly touched on it.
Yeah, your knee, you took one bad knee in the middle of a Squid Games VR and you were done for the rest of the day. Yeah. We had a flight in like 3 hours and you were fucked. Yeah. I even had to drive your car back.
You drove my car back, that's right.
Because your legs were so shot.
Yeah.
Why would you go hiking? Are you dumb?
Because I love Mrs. Royale.
I love my wife.
And you know, I mean, there's times where I try not to be a fat tub of shit, you know what I mean?
I saw that in the story.
Yes.
That's fun.
I tried not to.
Introspective moment there. But into the brain of Royale with cheese.
It meant a lot to her, but it was very much like the start. I didn't want to hike anymore. She said, I want to go on one more. And I said, fuck it, let's go. And I literally pulled out my phone and I literally found that trail. So it's like I said, it's very semi-autobiographical. But
what was so when you were thinking of like things as you were writing it, did I like nail your inspirations, quote unquote, or is there something else there that we didn't talk about?
No, it was very much like I said, I grabbed the stick, I saw it, I grabbed it, I thought about it, and then I just took little things. I literally took pictures as we went, because as this thing was coming into my head, I literally took pictures and said, this is so I don't forget. This is so I don't forget.
Oh, good.
This is so I don't forget.
That's cool.
And then
there's like a Ted the Caver aspect to it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then it was just like, you know, of course, I'm like, what would Stephen King do in this moment? And I don't think I caught a lot of that, but it was just, you know, trying to find my way.
What did Stephen King do? Okay, you introduced a harbinger who said, be careful what you wish for. Right. An old man who says you probably shouldn't do that. Then you had a man in black, and then you had undead creatures and psychological warfare. And then you had comeuppance. Right. These are all 4 traits of Stephen King.
I did steal the Man in Black directly from him.
That's perfectly fine. We enjoy these things for a reason. We love these things. We're going to write about these things.
It does excite me, though, that you picked that. Like, once they figured out that this thing was magic, like it was healing them, it really was like, okay, now these woods are going to funnel them in to the end game. And you mentioned that, like you picked up on that. That makes me happy because that happens. Okay, we know it's magic now. Man in Black's going to say, hey, assholes, you know.
Something's about,
you know.
You've crossed the threshold. Yeah. There's no going back.
Exactly. And once they discover it, that's when we've got bears and shit in the woods and they're chasing.
It almost begs to question if they had remained ignorant but hopeful, would it have pulled the same shit?
Yeah.
And part of me thinks no. And that's what I like about the ending of the story, because I don't think a kid is going to think about these things.
Right.
I don't think a kid is going to realize these things. And that's the interesting thing about how the story ends. Mm-hmm. I think a kid is more likely to Happy Gilmore this thing, put it between his legs and start waving it around like his giant cock
dance,
and just smacking it against stuff. And his dad just stands there shaking his head, just kind of wondering why he's doing that. But, you know, we've all been there. I just think it's funny. There's a different side of it. And I think we all are going to look
I don't hike, but we're all going to look at the walking sticks that we think of just a little bit differently now, because we're going to know that, like, when you look for help, sometimes, you know, the karma of the situation suggests that you got to give.
Yeah, there's a payment to be made.
That's fun. That was a fun story.
Well, thank you.
Of course, happy to have you. How did you feel about your process? I know that you...
Oh, my process was agonizing, but that's just because it's just rusty, so rusty.
So I don't know if he's going to be on it. I feel like every time I try to reach out to him, you know, I might end up cutting this too, but it's like every time I've reached out to him, because he loves King and he's being really hard on himself, I really wanted Scutch to be a part of this, but right now he's not on the list. Because every time I follow up with him, he just leaves me on red. And it's like, I get it. Like, you know, you have kids, you got a lot going on. It's like finding time to sit down and write is not anyone's priority. I'm not holding that against them.
Right.
I've had multiple people drop out of this, including Mark, One Page Wonder. He was originally going to write something for me to read for this special, and he just ghosted. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just think people need to stop being so fucking hard on themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily proud of everything I wrote. I'm not putting a fucking, you know, certificate signed and stamped saying this is something that I'm really fucking proud of, and I want this to stand the test of time out there on the internet. When I die, I want this to be the thing that's on the epitaph. You know, no. It's just fun. It's just fun, and you don't need to be that serious about it, and you could just have fun with what you're writing. And I had fun listening to what you read, so I think get back out there, get back up on the saddle, you know, get writing whenever you want to. And I would say the same thing to Scutch if you would hear me out, even if he doesn't sign up on this episode. I hope he listens to it. I hope he sees that we have all different shapes, sizes, people just come into this with their best intentions. And that's all I ever asked for. And in most cases, probably might regret as well with what other people might make me read at some point in later episodes.
Well, listen, I thinking it was crap. I still brought it because what the hell? What do I, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun. Like you said, we're having fun.
But that's my thing, though, and this is something I haven't brought up on any other. I've recorded so many other stories at this point that this is probably not going to translate well to this first episode. But it's like I've read so much shit on this show. I have read stories that do not make sense. I have read stories, some as early as the third or fourth fucking episode of the show, where the person I'm reading with, we look at each other and go, what the fuck was that? And we do nothing but laugh and move on, because it's like, what else are we supposed to say at that point? It's like that. The story didn't make sense. It was kind of dog shit. It wasn't even written well. The dialogue didn't work. It's like, I can think of The Broken Face with Django, where like that was the first thing he and I read together. And I very quickly said, let's get into something that people actually like, and pivoted to U.S. Forest search and rescue stories which again, similar vibes to what you wrote. I could see that being something that might have approached with a different lens. Sure. Approached with a different lens, but still the idea is there. And I think that's the kindred spirit aspect of it. So,
well, you know what I think? I'm not the host of this show. I think that's enough about my bullshit.
No, I appreciated talking about it. We did about an hour. So
sweet.
That's good. You're going to be the meat and potatoes of this episode. So I hope you're either ready to go first or ready to go last.
Put me wherever you want, man.
Good.
Put me in, coach.
Will do. Okay.
That's about the long and short of it.
So you know, you're the next person on this episode. I don't know if you're going to be the first person on this episode. You might be the last person on this episode. There is no intro, outro, like, as far as the people are concerned, because at this point there have been 4 other people on this episode. Already.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm only recording everyone's stories with them. I'm now sitting here with Sofa King.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yes, so Sofa King is here with me.
Sofa King!
And we're gonna read the story that Sofa King wrote. And I want to talk about the title.
Yeah.
For just a second here.
We don't have to. We could just...
No. We're going to talk about the title.
You don't want to talk. You want to talk about it
for a second here. Bad to the Bone, the Mary Calcium Story.
And that's Mary, M-A-R-Y, not M-A-R-R-Y.
I don't think anyone was wondering that, but I also...
You never know.
So tell, do we want to read it first, or do you want to tell me about the title?
Oh, we can talk about it. I think the title is really reflective of the character's last name, which is Calcium. So it's the Mary Calcium story. So one thing, do you know anything about Calcium?
I know a little bit about Calcium.
What can you tell me about Calcium?
Milk.
Is that it?
Yeah, mostly.
Milk? Okay,
yeah,
so...
And bones.
Yeah, milk is good for your bones because it has calcium.
That's it. That's all I know.
Okay, so calcium is good for your bones. And so I just was thinking to myself when I was writing this story about the name Mary Calcium. And what does that mean? Well, let's break it down. So you have the first name Mary, that's a woman. And then the last name is Calcium. So I made the title Bad to the Bone as kind of a play on words.
The
This is great.
I was going to say, it's already gone.
Yeah.
But just the relationship between...
Calcium and bones.
Calcium and bone.
Yeah. And you'll find out later, I don't want to spoil too much here, but...
No. Don't spoil it all. Milk bad, spoiled milk.
Milk bad, spoiled milk. Milk bad, spoiled milk.
I promise I'm not high. I'm really not.
Me either.
So listen.
Okay.
I sound dumb. We sound dumb. But
dumb.
But that's just because the title of this story is dumb.
No, you think it's dumb? It works on so many levels, dude. It's the Mary Calcium story. It's bad to the bone.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I like a lot of things that are dumb.
Oh, but this is one of them? I think it's genius.
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Do you want to read this story to me?
I do.
Can I hold it?
Me or it?
And then scroll as you read?
Now, when you refer to it, you mean this iPad,
My
correct?
iPad.
Okay, yes.
Because I want to follow along.
Okay. Bad to the Bone, the Mary Calcium story. Let me start off by saying that I end up being a major part of this story. Everything that you hear is from my point of view, so I'm making up a lot of the details to fill in the gaps between what 100% happened and what didn't happen, so that there's a full story here.
That is how stories work.
I'm smart and have a great memory, so a lot of this will be fun to read and be informative and scary for you, the reader and listener, if this eventually goes on like a podcast or something.
Very good.
From the day she was forcefully whipped from her mother's ovaries, Mary Calcium knew that she had special powers. For one, she remembers the day that she was forcefully whipped from her mother's ovaries. That's pretty cool. Not only did she have the power to remember, she importantly had the power to never forget. Paul McCartney once said, "Live and let die." She wasn't about to let any of these fuckers get away with any of the shit they were trying to pull. It was about to get nasty. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm talking about Mary goddamn Calcium and her secret power to remember anything. How many times, when you're sitting in traffic and somebody cuts you off, ruining your day, do you think, damn it, I wish I remembered their license plate number so I could get my uncle-in-law who works at the DMV to illegally pull their information and social security number so that I can open a high-interest credit card in their name, figure out which Sprouts Farmers Market they work at, and totally get them fired when their credit gets absolutely wrecked by the hard credit inquiry and they go insane trying to figure out how it happened. To me, at least once a day. Mary Calcium could do all of that and more because not only did she have the power to remember everything that happened to her, but she also had the powers to read thoughts, fly, infinite money, kill anybody just by thinking about how she wanted them to be dead, and never died by anything but natural causes.
That's a lot of good powers.
They're really good powers. And so if Mary Calcium got cut off in traffic, she wouldn't say, Damn it, I wish I remembered their license plate numbers so I could get my uncle-in-law who works at the DMV to illegally pull their information and social security numbers so that I could open up a high-interest credit card in their name, figure out which Sprouts Farmers Market they work at, and totally get them fired when their credit gets absolutely wrecked by the hard credit inquiry and they go insane trying to figure out how it happened. She would think, got you, you fucker. She woke up one morning and got herself a gun. Why? Her boyfriend wanted it. His name was Sid AK-47, and he was a good-looking dude. He had hair, teeth, everything you need.
That is everything.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Mary Calcium was more of a sentient blob. Not metaphorically. She was literally a super attractive, viscous blob. The way that she shifted around, well, you just had to see it.
I wish I could.
Okay, back to the story. So, she got a gun for Sid AK-47. The big secret with him is that he actually doesn't like Mary Calcium. No. He's just into her for her money and her blobby bits. Damn. The other big secret, though, is that she knows. Ba-ba-ba!
That's okay.
It's written out.
It is written ba-ba-ba.
Is that how you would...
Ba-ba-ba.
I guess I could have added a Y or something.
No,
all right.
You got it.
All right, well, note taken.
See, I thought it was dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that would have been better, too.
No, that's okay.
All right. He takes out the gun that he got from Mary Calcium and says, all right, Mary Calcium, thanks for getting me this nice gun and making me breakfast, but unfortunately it's time for you to die.
No.
Mary Blob's there, menacingly.
Menacingly.
Sid starts to sweat. What? Oh, yeah.
No.
What? What are you doing, Mary? He says. The room is a chilly 67 degrees and starts to get colder and colder and colder. He's shivering as he points his brand new gun at her. Mary! What are you doing, Mary? I'm so hot and so cold. He tries to shoot her, but the gun is still wrapped in plastic from the gun store, and he's really struggling to take it off as the room gets colder. Yeah, you gotta get the plastic off the end of the gun. As the room gets colder, the sweat dripping off his head begins to form into ice crystals as the air itself in the room began to be deprived of oxygen. He managed to let out a faint before his head and neck were completely encased in ice. Sid AK-47 drew his last breath. As Sid AK-47 drew his last breath, the light in the room dimmed and turned to pitch black. Mary Calcium stood there, continuing to blob menacingly in the pitch dark, until an intense bright ball of light dripped from the ceiling and slowly floated down onto the soft, squishy skin of Mary Calcium. As the light was absorbed into her body, the light in the room began to slowly brighten and reveal the carnage wrought by Sid AK-47's ex-girlfriend. Sid's head laid on top of the coffee table, completely encased in ice, while the rest of his body stood frozen. Mary Calcium sighed and pried the gun away from Sid AK-47's cold, dead hands. She was annoyed that her attractive boyfriend had betrayed her. She stuffed the gun into her body and absorbed its power, and did the same thing with a steaming hot pot of coffee. I'm going to destroy everybody who's wronged me, she said, blobbily. On her blob back, she sprouted what Paul McCartney's band was called, Wings, and flew to the Pentagon. Above the Pentagon, Mary Calcium screamed into a megaphone, "Give me missiles!" At this request, Mr. John Pentagon walked out of the Pentagon and said, "Is that Mary Calcium? Wow, it's been forever." Mary Calcium winked at him and said, "I can be whatever you want me to be, Johnny boy."
Oh, shit.
Shifting her blue, blobby body around in a way that drove Mr. John Pentagon crazy, just like in the old days.
Oh, they go back.
Oh, yeah. While Mr. John Pentagon started making awooga eyes and noises, he had a sudden realization. Oh, God. Mary, did you kill Sid AK-47?
How did he know?
Yeah, I had to. He was going to fucking shoot me with a gun that I gave him after making him Eggs Benedict.
That's so sad.
Oh, that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, so really, can you shoot me with some missiles so that I can absorb their power and become, like, super strong? Let me go ask my boss. Oh my God, you're not the boss of the Pentagon? Your name is John fucking Pentagon. No, I'm just a consultant. Are you telling me I wasted 9 hours and 33 minutes of my life giving you head for absolutely no reason? Yeah, pretty much. God fucking damn it. The beautiful shimmering lights on the Pentagon all started. That's what you know them for, right? That's what you know the Pentagon. If you know anything about the Pentagon, it's that they have beautiful shimmering lights. They all suddenly began to go dim, though. Mr. John Pentagon shuffled nervously and said, let me just go get some missiles real quick. He wheeled out about 72 missiles and said, let me know when you're ready. Like Paul McCartney once said, oh my God, just fucking shoot me already, Jesus.
That's my favorite quote of his.
Me too, yeah. Great line. The missiles fired and were absorbed by Mary Calcium, and she became, like, really, really strong.
She was already really strong, but now she's really strong. Like full caps.
Yeah, like, well, the first really is not caps, but the second is. She was, like, really, really strong. Yeah. So there was still some room, but really, really strong. Even stronger than before when she killed Sid AK-47. Like, so strong. Not only stronger, but sexier.
Damn.
The 72 missiles shot by Mr. John Pentagon didn't hurt Mary Calcium at all, but they did make her blobs tan AF. Her looks and strength at this point were undeniable. Meanwhile, a group of people that Mary Calcium had wronged in the past were all together at what they called the Intergalactic HQ headquarters.
That's what headquarters stands.
It's true. Super dumb, but their camaraderie and je ne sais quoi was admirable in the face of unprecedented times. They called themselves the Foes of Mary Calcium, or the Gang for short. Why did these guys hate Mary Calcium? You're about to find out. But first, let's meet them. From left to right, we have Chet McBoofter, natural leader. He doesn't say much, but he always knows exactly what to say at exactly the right time. He and I hooked up once, but then he got a huge Venmo from his buddy Steve, so I don't know if that was for real. We didn't talk about it again, so who knows? Let's go to the next one. Trent Fool. Don't look at his name, but, like, definitely look at him because he has a hook for a hand, a pirate patch on his right eye, a peg leg that is made out of the cherry tree that George Washington cut down, and a codpiece that's really just a can of Chef Boyardee's beefaroni. God, that stuff's good. I could down a few cans right now. Marcy's Playground. Yes, that's right. The band that brought you the song Sex and Candy is here to stop a voluptuous blob from saving the world. What? From destroying the world? The author really fucked that one up.
Yeah.
Destroying the world? Oh, maybe Mary Calcium's supposed to save the world. We'll find out.
Stop a voluptuous blob
from saving the world. Or destroying the world. Next, we have Porge McBoofter, Chet's sister, and a professional ballerina. Most people call her Twirl because of the way she twirls around so magnificently on the stage.
I don't think anyone calls her that.
Twirl. They call her Twirl. Yeah. Ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, I do, and I am Twirl. That's what she sings all the time. And then there's me. Hey, that's me on the far right. Don't I look so hot here? Okay, so, like, my name is Tanya Harding. My mom told me there's another one. Total cunt, apparently. I'm 23 years old and still have all my wisdom teeth. And daughter-in-law of Mary fucking Calcium.
Whoa.
God, she's the worst. She ate my dad like a beef stroganoff, and I saw the whole thing. So you're probably wondering, why did we band together to defeat Mary Calcium?
I was wondering.
Because you're a fucking idiot. I literally just told you she slurped up my dad like he was a beef-based pasta entree.
Why are all of you there?
Are you dumb? Obviously, Twirl, her brother Chet, Trent Full, and Marcy's Playground are going to follow me around because they all want a slice of Tanya Harding Volume 2.0, baby. I'm, like, seriously attracted.
Damn, that makes sense.
If you were to look at a picture of, like, say, Sydney Sweeney and then a picture of me, you'd be like, okay, Tanya Harding is way hotter than Sydney Sweeney.
Did you also do an ad for American Apparel or American Eagle?
This was before that. This was written. This was one of the first entries.
So now you do,
yeah.
Okay.
Not going to get into that. Okay, so wait, what did I say?
I don't have the tits.
Oh yeah, you'd be like, okay, Tanya Harding is way hotter than Sydney Sweeney. I don't have the tits, but honestly, she's kind of a butterface, isn't she?
Damn, that's shots fired. 10
out of 10 guys would be like, yeah, Tanya Harding, not Sydney Sweeney. And honestly, most girls too. The thing is, though, like, Mary Calcium is so hot, and she gets even hotter when she's stronger. which, if you remember, she's like super fucking strong now. I'm not supernatural. I'm just a girl who wants revenge for her horned up dad who went and married a blob. So together, we hatched a plan, and we were ready for a showdown with Mary Calcium. We're going to take a quick intermission here to take a quick drink of a mocktail that has just a little bit of CBD in it.
Yeah.
Which, we're getting older, man.
We're getting there.
Yeah, this sucks. All right, so we're ready for the ultimate showdown now. We have Mary Calcium versus the gang.
I'm ready.
Outside of the Pentagon. Meanwhile, outside of the Pentagon, Mary Calcium was super powerful and loving herself. Mr. John Pentagon's boss, Steve Whitehouse, heard all the commotion, from the missiles and stuff. Mr. John Pentagon, what have you done? I shot Mary Calcium with a bunch of missiles, sir. You didn't ask me if I could do that. I know, sir, but she's so hot. Whoa, she is hot. Yeah. Okay, carry on. As Steve Whitehouse walked away, Mary Calcium decided that was cool of him, so she gave him $2.41 billion to replace all the weaponry that they used to blast her.
That's crazy. That's so nice.
Well, one of her powers was unlimited money.
Unlimited money, that's right.
So John Pentagon was all, what the hell? Which was pretty funny. I love seeing people all freaked out. Mary Calcium said, go home, John Pentagon, or feel my fury. But
I thought they had some.
Yeah, well, they did. But John was feeling all grumpy and mean and said, do your worst. John, dumb call. She's so strong. Mary thought of how she wanted him to die, and then he did. It was crazy.
No, John.
He's dead now.
No.
That was it. Mary Calcium decided it would be metal to drink John Pentagon's boiling blood, so she did.
What the fuck?
It was metal as fuck. And as much as I hate her, I had to give it up for her. In the shadow of the blaze in the air above the Pentagon, I walk out of the smoke and offer a slow clap. In the coolest voice that I can do, I say, Mary Calcium, you're dead, bitch. Blobbingly, Mary Calcium laughs and laughs. Mary, I'm talking to you, you asshole. You killed my dad, and now you're the one that's going to be dead. Mary replies. And how do you plan on killing me? Natural causes, your only weakness. Natural causes, I'm only 38. Yes, but I know something you don't. Blobs only live to be 39. What? Read it and weep. Scientific Digest. Let's see here. Now, Chet, using the specifically designed jetpacks for this exact moment, flies up straight through Mary Calcium. You see, his buddy Steve Whitehouse worked in the Pentagon, and he could get him cool jetpacks and stuff, and he used it to fly through her. It was really cool, like that one Star Wars. Mary Calcium was stunned. Her bloodiness was everywhere, and only her consciousness was holding her together. Twirl the vacuum! Swole danced about and used a $300 Dyson vacuum to sloop up her blobby stuff. She got all of her in there. She was fleet-footed and so cute, too. What we didn't anticipate was Mary Calcium busting out of such an expensive vacuum. She reintegrated herself back to look like the hot bitch that she was. It sucked. We thought we had her. But then I noticed that walking up the steps of the Pentagon was none other than Sir Paul McCartney. Before I said a fucking word to him, he started to turn into a giant beetle. Paul McCartney, Jumbaloo! He was huge, strong, and had a song in his heart. Mary Calcium wasn't scared. Paul, you look fucking gross. Can you change back, dude? No, I'm the beetle. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Paul, I'm serious. I don't want to kill you. Mary, 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 you're being quite contrary. I hate that you always say that. Beetle time! Sir Paul McCartney decided that he'd ask me for help with his cool trick. Tanya Harding, is that you? I knew you, Paul. What? Paul did know me, Paul. That's why I know all of those famous Paul McCartney quotes. Hi, Paul. Tanya, can you help me with something? Yeah, sensational. Paul reached in his pocket and pulled out a time-advancing machine that he could only activate with 2 sets of hands. We put our hands together on the big red button together, and the gang was instantly placed in a bubble, where we were safe from the world around us, we all blacked out. Not like at Reese's 19th birthday, but like before we were born. When we snapped out of it, it was just the following year. Mary was dead and gone. As I mentioned before, blobs can only live for 38 full years. When they turn 39, they just die. Life happened around us while we floated in our bubble. Apparently, Mary Calcium got really pissed that she couldn't break us free from Paul McCartney's bubble and destroyed the whole planet. Damn. There were no more Marshalls, no more Panda Express, no more anything, no buildings, no rubble, no trees, nothing. Just space and a new asteroid field. We saw this right before our bubble popped, and we all froze to death in the cold vacuum of space. So, in conclusion, we tried to kill Mary Calcium, but we just avoided seeing the destruction that was wrought by her. Technically, we did kill her, but it was mostly time that did it, and we just sort of were in a bubble that let us avoid seeing it all, and then just sort of got strangled to death in space. The end. The angelic bailiff presiding over the classic Earth-style courtroom shifts uncomfortably, but Judge St. Peter didn't flinch while grilling Tanya Harding.
Is that really what you'd like to say here to the court?
Yes, absolutely, Your Honor. I couldn't be prouder that we killed Mary Calcium all by ourselves.
Okay, well, with this testimony, along with your application for Earth Heaven that was filled with spelling and grammatical errors, we have decided that we will not be moving forward. Being hot does not get you into the kingdom of God.
What? Since when? Where will we go?
Unfortunately, this means you're all going to Earth Hell, which I hear is now ruled by Mary Calcium. She is a rock star. Oh, wait, all of you except for Paul McCartney.
God damn it. And then Marcy's Playground Sex and Candy plays.
Hang around
downtown by myself, and I had so much time to sit and think about myself, and there she was. Like the double lemonade, there she was. Disco lemonade. I smell sexy candy, yeah. Who is that lounging in my chair? It's Mary Calcium. Who's that lady?
Devious stares in my direction. Mama will surely is a dream. Dig it.
Dig it?
Oh, man.
That was Mary Calcium.
Oh, holy shit.
Is that what you expected?
I really don't want to talk about it. Like, if I could end the episode just by playing the first 15 or so seconds of Sex and Candy and then just fade into the end of the episode, I would, but we need to talk
have so
about
much
it.
time.
So listen. Is it what I expected? No, of course not. How could I possibly have expected that? Now, what I will say is you made wonderful AI-produced character art that you sent me in the email that other people may or may not see. I haven't judged what the title card of this episode is going to be. But what I will say is it was fantastic, and it did inform a little bit of my opinion.
A little bit.
Because there's a blob woman standing in front of the Pentagon, and then Paul McCartney's in the top right.
As a beetle.
As a beetle. So, yeah, no. Is it what I expected? Kind of. At the end of the day, kind of.
You know, it's so funny. I put it through the AI thing to just say, like, hey, can you make a poster for this story?
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, I was like, do you have any suggestions to make it any better? And then it was like, yeah, your structure is like absolutely horrible. There, you repeated this line about Sprouts Farmers Market.
That's okay. I'm okay. No. You weren't asking for advice.
No. I just wanted, and then it was like, you're a rock star, you know, like like AI does.
Yeah, I love that. So here's what I will say. I loved it.
I thought it was fantastic. It made me laugh a bunch. I thought it was really funny. No, it's so like unbridledly like you, and like how we joke and how we talk about dumb shit all the time.
Yep.
So it's like, am I surprised that you had this inside of you willing to come out and play for like a moment? Absolutely not. Am I proud of you for putting pen to paper and committing to the bit? Absolutely, 100%.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
And I will also say, go back like 10 years, this would have fit perfectly on Troll Pasta. Like this, I've read stories like this on the show with other people that we've found like on Troll Pasta. Like I feel like I read a story about a guy who is not Bruce Willis, but is supposed to be Bruce Willis, but he's sent to like, he's sent to Al-Qaeda to take out the terrorists, but he ends up just like hanging out with
like
them.
A sleeper cell. Like he's like he forms like a sleeper cell.
So they try to die hard the Al-Qaeda. I remember reading that story with Terry.
Oh my god!
And we were both like crying, laughing, and I was like, "Why do people write this stuff?" And here we are, close to 10 years later, and you did that for me.
And you know, like I initially was thinking that I would do something a little more serious, and then I wrote about 75% of this over the course of a workday that my like boss's boss was in, and I wanted to look really busy. So I
remember you telling me that. You were like, I needed to look really busy. So
I wanted to look busy, so I just started writing, and it was like...
That's the easiest part.
Mostly a stream of consciousness thing, and I just like, it just as soon as like...
I could see you sitting at a desk just giggling, just like...
No, man, I was keeping a straight face. I was keeping it together, but I'm like texting Sam. I'm like, oh my god, I have the most amazing story to tell you when I get home.
Did she hear this story?
Yeah, I've had like I have a couple of friends who do like short story, creative writing kind of things, and they like they read it and were like, what the fuck, dude?
Okay, well when this series comes out, you are going to send those people this episode so that they could hear this story again.
Yeah.
And then also you're going to share with them the other episodes so that they could hear everyone else's short stories so that they can tell you which one they think is the best.
And it's going to be mine because...
It's probably going to be yours.
Yeah, because they're good friends.
They're biased and opinionated.
They're very good friends too. And you know, they'll genuinely just say, hey, you know, you did the best job, but then go home and say, oh my God, dude, it's such a... Suffocate. Don't put that in.
Suffocate.
Suffocate.
So here's the thing.
Oh, here's the thing, Suffocate.
I really liked your story. I'm
glad.
And if I had the ability...
I thought it was great.
If I had the ability to give you the prompt to say, I'm going to force you to write horror, you need to write something horror related, I don't think you would have had nearly as much fun.
Oh, I would have. I would have. Okay. If you want me to do that right now, I will.
No, you don't have to do that.
Okay, so here I was in the middle of the marsh, and I slowly wake up. I feel my hands tingle. I'm coming out of the fog, and I hear Persephone yelling, Bruce! Bruce! Come inside, Bruce! What are you doing down there? And I sit and I say to myself, my God, what have I done?
Hang around.
And down by myself. My God, what have I done?
Oh, we could have gone there. We could have gone talking.
Let the change go by. Days go by. Let the change go by.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You see change on the ground? You know what? If I see change on the ground, I'm not getting excited anymore.
Yeah.
What am I doing for a dime?
That's a part of growing up, I think.
Oh my God. I need $1 to be like, to make me holler.
At least $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was really good, right? The horror thing?
That was good. All of this was good.
Cool.
You know, do you think, you know, I've asked other people these questions, so I feel more or less forced to ask you these questions now.
You don't have to, man.
I don't necessarily, you know, care about your answer, but I'm going to ask you.
This is a great setup. I feel like I have to do this. I don't care about your answer, but
seriously now, seriously.
Oh, okay.
Is this the last time that you're going to write?
No.
Like ever?
No.
You're going to write more stories?
Yeah, you know what?
Did this motivate you to write stories?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
He looked so fed up when he said that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to write more stories. I don't care that you write more stories or not, but yeah, I really don't care.
So here's the thing. Other people, I now feel the need to explain it.
You son of a bitch.
Other people have come to me with the stuff that we've put on these episodes, and they've said to me, like, I haven't written in years. I haven't sat down to do anything creative like this in like a very long time. And it's like told them that they still have that.
You know, it's so funny
inside of them.
Because I did this, and like then I like picked up a guitar for the first time in like 5 years, and was like I like something felt different about like playing it, and I've been kind of learning it and learning how to do like electric, and like I've learned scales and stuff since I wrote. Like I don't know, it just I haven't done anything creative in a while. Especially since I have my little, we'll call her the sofa...
Princess?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Little sofa princess?
Yeah, a little sofa princess. It's sofa popper. Little sofa popper. She's a little poor little sofa popper. She's gonna make it on her own one day.
One day, but not for a long while.
She won't have it handed down, I'll tell you that. You don't just inherit the throne.
You doth protest too much. No, literally. So, like, did you actually, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like it unlocked, like, I don't think it unlocked something that was, like, I'm going to write a whole bunch anymore. But and, like, having a thing that was like, okay, you have this deadline to hit. It put it in front of me like, oh, okay, cool. I will have to be creative at some point in the next, like, 5 months.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
And you were the first done.
I know. I
will say you were the first done. You got it back to me within like the month of me saying, let's do this.
Yeah, it was exciting.
I mean, I appreciated that because I have people who still haven't even started yet. And then deadline's coming up in September. So yeah.
Well, okay, so if
now it is September. That's dating the episode. That's all. I'm always a fan of dating the episode.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're in September.
Now
we're deep in September.
We're a little bit in September.
We're in the heart of it. We're not in the middle of it, but
where it lives.
Yeah, I know September.
Yesterday was a really important day.
Arbor Day? No, that's in spring.
No, it's 9/11.
Oh.
So this episode's coming out on 9/12, so...
I forgot.
Burr, burr, burr.
Da-da-da-da.
No,
that's
not what I was doing. It is funny because you were like, I picked up a guitar for the first time and I started playing again, and I was like, oh, so you're playing downtown.
That's probably pretty easy. You know, I didn't even think about doing that. Let's see, it's Sex and Candy.
Yeah, it's like a bass line.
Easy chords. Okay, this one gets a 4.8 on Ultimate Guitar. I think this is probably a good one. Oh, it is difficulty intermediate, so... Oh, it's got a B major chord to start. That's it. I'm out. That's one that I could perhaps tickle the ivories on. You know, I could see a very sad, slow, like Mad World version of...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hanging round downtown by myself, and I had too much time.
You should do that.
Sit and think about myself, and there she was.
You should do that.
Like double Disco Superfly. That's another one.
Disco Superfly.
I have to cough. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
And we're back.
For counting it down so I can cut it out.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I might leave it now because it's funnier.
Shit.
So
That was
listen.
loud. I feel fine.
Sofa King.
Yes.
It was such a pleasure having you here. I'm so glad that you were like a part of this.
Yeah, me too.
I've had 35 guests on the show, and I was able to get 20 of them to do this writing special.
That's awesome.
And it went from being 3 episodes to 6 episodes because the people that wanted to contributed so much.
That's great.
So it's been really cool. Like
that's fun.
Even for me, like I write, obviously like you were in the D&D campaign. Like I wrote that entire thing like a long time ago, but it's like, I still try to write. I still, pick up the old keyboard and try to put words.
You're not putting pen to paper.
I'm not putting pen to paper. I'm putting.
You're putting finger to
clacks into computer.
Yeah, beep boop. Here's the story.
Exactly, that's how it works. And even with mine, because this is the first episode. This is episode 300, but there are going to be 5 more episodes, and the last couple episodes are all stories that I've written. I wrote.
That's cool.
Close to single space, not even like double space.
Brag much.
Like 106 pages.
Holy shit.
I wrote 4 short stories.
Now, all right, for the listener, if you think about that, if it was double space, it'd be 212.
It might, no, it probably wouldn't be, but it would be nice.
Well, if you're taking 1 and multiplying it by 2, and if it's single space at 106 pages, it could conceivably stretch out.
It might.
But maybe not.
It might not.
It might not. So maybe, what are you thinking? Like closer to 200? 198?
So I got to 94 pages on my 3 stories.
Single space, right?
I think so.
Oh.
I have to confirm it now.
Oh, no.
So I got to like 94 or 95 pages. And I wrote 3 short stories, and I did 20, 34, 40. And each time I sat down thinking they would all just be 20, 20, 20, 20. And I was only trying to do 3 at first. And I thought to myself, I really want to break 100.
Break it off.
I ended up doing a 4th story, and it kind of shakes out because now I'm reading the longest one with the shortest one, which is 50-some pages, and I'm reading the 2 middle ones, which is also 50-some pages.
Right.
So it shakes out.
Probably, for the listener, probably single space.
Probably single space.
Yeah.
For the listener.
For the listener, this is probably a single space.
Because they're never going to see it, but probably. And those are going to be the last 2 episodes.
I gotta say, I'm disappointed.
Those are going to be the last 2 episodes, but the first 3
You're going to have to show me.
The first 3 episodes are everyone who wanted to write like shorter stories.
Yeah.
So it's like someone wrote over like 20, someone wrote, like 12 or 13, and then we have a bunch of people who did like 10 or less, and that's all I asked was like 5 to 10 from anyone. So the fact that I got more than 5 to 10 from so many people, and then we get to the 4th episode, just letting everyone know how this schedule is going to work up into Halloween this year. Deputy Dewey came to me. He came to me and he said, I'm going to write like a really long one because I got music in my soul and it needs to be heard. And so
I can see him saying that.
He literally wrote like 40 to 60 pages.
Now, are we talking double space?
For him, it was double space.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And mine was less than 10 double space, so
and
I can't even imagine what you did.
And yeah, no, literally. And it came out really great. And like I had 0 expectations that someone would. Like I put my own expectations on myself to say,
right.
if I'm doing 3 episodes, I want to write 3 stories. And then once I started getting stuff back from people, I was like, this is going to be more than 3 episodes. And that's when I was like, giving everyone their platform, giving everyone their time to shine and just get out there and do their stuff. But it's like, what I'm trying to say is I appreciate you for being involved, and I had 0 expectations for anyone who wanted to do this with me
and I am super happy with how everything came out.
But you don't care if I keep writing.
I don't necessarily care if you If you do,
Yeah.
you know where to find me.
I'll send it your way. You know what? I'll send it.
You bring it to me.
I'll send it in a
You put it
PDF
in a
format.
box.
Oh,
You
in a
print it
box.
out. Print it
Okay.
out. Put it in a box. Mail it to me. Put the money into the stamps. Don't just go and buy postage.
Okay, yeah.
Buy
So
stamps.
here's the problem.
Buy about 50.
There's
stamps.
already a problem with this because if I'm putting it in a box, I don't know if I can send it with stamps. I'm gonna have to go to like the UPS store.
Okay.
So I don't know if they accept stamps.
Okay.
Can you go to
and just cover it in stamps? I thought that's what they did back in the old days.
I think it's possible.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
then
do you feel
kicker.
like
Here's
waiting?
the kicker, though. Here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
I then want you to show up like a month later and read it with me.
Yeah,
I want you to mail it to me first.
Okay.
I want you to spend the
Put it in a box.
Put it in a box.
Can I could I roll this story up in like fake papyrus and put a red bow on it?
I was gonna say, yeah, even before you roll it up.
Or potentially a
like
black bow.
Let's do like a tea stain, like a coffee bag. Or
I think that's good.
And then get the paper all nice and tan or brown.
Sure.
So it looks aged.
Mhm.
And then maybe get like a lighter and like burn the outside.
Oh, I could do that.
The outside edges of it.
Mhm.
So it looks, thematically
No.
aged.
I have another question for you on this. Have you ever seen Muppet Treasure Island?
I fucking love Muppet Treasure Island.
The black spot is what I'll put on it.
There he is.
Kremet.
Yeah. So. Hey, Piggy. Sofa King.
What do you want?
Oh, Sofa King. Thank you for bringing Mary Calcium's story to my doorstep today.
Yeah. I have a real story. If you want to hear it, real quick.
Jesus Christ.
Really quick.
Okay.
Well, as you know, we just had the sofa popper, and it was really
Sofa Queen.
Yeah, with my sofa queen.
You're married.
Yes, I am married and now have a child as well. Mm-hmm. So I'll be bringing that up. But sofa king. But it was a tough process because we're furniture. So we had to do, we tried naturally, but it just wasn't happening.
Does that make her like an ottoman?
No, she is fond of me, but she's not an ottoman. She's a sofa.
So
we're two sofas together.
But no. I was saying sofa popper. Does that make a little baby sofa?
Oh, yeah. She's an ottoman,
she's
right? She's not quite an ottoman. She's more of like a footstool right now, like a little one.
Oh yeah, no, she's
making her way though. She's
okay. She'll be an ottoman.
Yeah, she'll be an ottoman soon.
Before
she's
we
almost there.
I know
they grow so fast.
Mysterious,
son of a bitch already.
Crazy concept.
Yeah, so we actually had to wind up doing like in vitro furniturization.
Yeah.
It just wasn't an easy process, and it was hard. A lot of tears, a lot of tears. I mean, but we eventually got there, and the birth was,
This is the story? You're telling the story of the birth?
Yeah, it's...
this is the story you wanted to tell to be immortalized on the podcast?
No, it's... yeah, well, no, it was more about the in vitro furniturization. I was going to see where I was going to...
Go with that.
Well, she lost all of her cushions in the birth, and, she had to get sewn back up, and... I just had to take care of that fucking kid for so long. It sucked.
These are real things, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, if you're reading between the lines on this...
Kinda. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But, yeah, no, in vitro furniturization, I thought it was a funny joke.
It was funny. No, you've said it three or four times.
Did you think it was funny?
The first time.
Because that's all I thought of for the show. I was in the car about 5 minutes away. I was like, where can I go from the chocolate liquidation?
Yeah.
In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization. In vitros fertilización. I am the Sofa King. You will be my subjects, and the Lord himself has blessed me with the title of Sofa King, and you will bow to my will and be my royal furniture. I rule with an iron fist.
We know you. We know you. We're used to it.
Yes.
This has been Sofa King, everyone.
Hello.